It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, May 6th. Holy smokes.
Someone help him off the floor.
I am so... Listen, it's a great day around here. It's going to be a fantastic week. I come in early in the morning. I bring Chauncey into work today. He gets settled in. I say hey to Zep. I see Candace. Hey, how's it going? Everybody's catching up. We're talking about the weekend. And then I'm like, wait, what's going on over there? Oh, I know what's going on over there. Anthony Lee is back.
I almost called security when I saw him come in. I'm like, who is the creepy new dude?
Tony, what is up?
Hi, guys. Who's that strange-looking human down the hall here? How am I down? I haven't touched a button in over a month.
Down the hall.
Oh, man. You don't know how good that feels to hear that, to be called that.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning. Who knew that a simple little chinchilla bite would lead to me being out for over a month?
Stay away from those filthy
that's just weird.
varmints.
But I think it's great that you're actually and you turned it into a stole and you're wearing it. Not too many people, get knocked down by an animal bite and then come back stronger than ever wearing the very animal.
That's the rogue that I am. I think it's working.
Well done for you, my friend.
Thank you. God, I missed you guys. This is ridiculous. It's so cool to see you.
So normally Mondays, it's like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? So, hey, what'd you do in April?
Yeah, but I did some fine wrestling. You know what I did? For some reason, some shows just, they come up at a time that you need them to keep you company. I watched like marathons of Bar Rescue.
Oh.
Okay.
For some reason, because it's on like at all times, they run marathons of this show. And it's confrontational and funny.
Yeah.
And it's just an easy watch. I don't know why, but it became my dog and Bar Rescue were my companions.
There have been a couple of Minnesota bars on there, so I've seen more than a couple of episodes.
You see the show? It's great.
Was there any bar they couldn't rescue where the guy was just like, to hell with these people?
He should have walked out so many times. John Taffer is just a badass.
Yeah.
And people would antagonize him, but they'd always come back. They'd mess up, though.
I wouldn't want to cross that guy. He seems like the kind of guy that knows a guy, right?
At this point, you're obviously ready to go around rescuing bars.
Yes.
I mean, you've learned what it takes.
Yes.
I feel like I rescued a couple over the weekend myself.
You'll start this afternoon. We'll get on it.
Started drinking and mixing.
Man. Well, let me just go ahead and say, on behalf of Zep and Candace and myself and all of our listeners, Tony, we've really missed you.
Most of our listeners.
Great to see you.
I tell you, our listeners are so genuine and the outpouring and sincere comments. Just nothing else could have gotten me through so strongly, and I appreciate you all so much. I love you so much, and it's so good to see you guys.
Yeah,
it feels great. I'm euphoric.
Look at you. I walked in this morning, and I saw Tony's car, and I was like, okay, he's actually here. And I walk in the building, and he's doing a handstand, and I was like, wow, man, he really is back.
Yeah, that stuff stuck in my pockets. That's what I was.
I started a rumor that you were abducted by aliens.
He wishes.
I know, if only.
Yeah.
You don't know how much I dream about that.
If Tony had been abducted by aliens, I bet he would not be able to tell us. He would probably say like, "Oh, I was under the weather."
I'd share.
Would you?
Yeah.
Even if they asked you not to? You'd violate the aliens' bond?
He sat down rather gingerly, so I don't know what went on up there.
The word probe.
For science. For science.
Yeah. Well, probe just ain't a Ford. You know what I'm saying? Well, Tony, I'm sure at some point over the last few weeks you were aware of the fact that that the Twins were on an incredible tear. 12 straight wins, rally sausage going strong. And all the Minnesota Twins, the kryptonite for the Twins, as it turns out, was our own Brian Zepp.
Yeah, turns out I broke the winning streak by going to my first Twins game of the season yesterday. And I'll tell you what, and this is the God's truth, if they go on another winning streak, when they go on another winning streak this season, I will not be attending a game. I don't care if it's like 20, and I've got seats right behind my home plate, and they've rattled off 20 in a row, and it's the place to be. No, I will not be going back there. I'm too superstitious. The rally, I did get to see the rally summer sausage. Jeffers the keeper of the sausage, smoked one in the third inning, thought, here we go, up one. He's coming to the dugout, and they toss him the rally sausage. He holds it up in the air. The crowd goes nuts, and then the Red Sox took over from there.
I'm in a perfect world. 6 months from now, Game 7, Dodgers in town, World Series on the line, and I'll have a ticket for Zepp, and I'll be going, let's go. Come on.
No, God, I for
Come on.
sure
Come
will
on.
not go. No. Hell, I won't even watch the game.
That's fantastic.
I'm going to go watch reruns of the 91 Twins and hope they do their best. And by the way, I was able to snag that summer sausage. It is in your studio somewhere, Tony. It hasn't been refrigerated in 3 weeks. Be careful. It is plastic package, but be careful where you step or sit.
There is that unique scent, and I just thought it was me. Getting a little self-conscious.
KQ Musk.
You know what? We could. That's my boy. Now my mind's just reeling.
Yeah.
KQ Musk. Ask for it by name.
Wow, what would that smell like?
Yeah, that's got to be nasty. I'm sure the hazmat team from Minneapolis came in and disposed of that after the game. So the rally sausage is gone, as is the win streak. But hell, fine 12-game win streak, the longest since 1991. And how about the Timberwolves?
Wolvies.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic. That's been so much fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the Timberwolves at the game yesterday. People around me, folks you'd run into and say hi to, and then how about the Timberwolves, right?
Man, I'll tell you right
care.
now, I've been watching a lot of basketball the last 50 some years, and there's a real burning sensibility that this is one of those teams a little ahead of schedule, and they're catching other teams at the right time, including the defending champion Denver Nuggets. And we can talk about that a little bit longer because this is a very real thing. The game tonight could go a very long way towards not just beating the Nuggets, but 4 or 5 game series is not out of the question with Jamal Murray hurt. And so we can talk about that. I do also want to mention right now, I'm an incredibly healthy person, mentally and emotionally. I mean, as healthy mentally, as emotionally as it gets. And you may be surprised as to why that is. I will explain all in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, May the 6th. Zepp, Candace, myself, and Tony Lee in the studio.
How about that, Apple?
A lot of folks on the KQ Talk and Text line texting, welcome back, Tony. We miss you,
nice.
Tony. It's great to hear from you. But most importantly, as we already discussed, we're now working on KQ Musk, our new cologne. And John texted, KQ Musk would smell like worn leather, lingering skunk, motor oil, a freshly opened pack of cigarettes with a hint of old-fashioned.
Oh, I think I
Nice.
smelled like that on Sunday morning when I get up after the Dirty Rotten Biker Fest.
Perhaps a touch of paprika. I don't know why they didn't mention that.
Paprika, I thought that was pot. I got screwed again. I did that in the Uptown parking lot. Went down there to meet a guy, one of those shady deals to buy some pot. When I first moved to Minneapolis, small town kid in the big city, and I think it was oregano, actually. I bought a bag of oregano. But the important part is I actually tried to smoke it.
It might be good.
No, it
A
hurts.
little harsh.
It hurts
Yeah.
your throat.
Could
Right.
Gave me
burn
a
hole
headache.
going down.
That I still have.
If you
Musk.
smoke oregano, I got to think that impacts the way everything tastes for at least 3 days. It's just gonna.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
My pride still stings on that one a little bit. I learned a lesson.
Another thing I
was.
mentioned earlier in the show is just that I'm in such great mental health. I mean, literally,
Yeah, you are.
look
Proud
at me.
of you.
I'm a bastion,
Glowing
a
with
beacon
health.
of mental health. And do you want to know why?
All right,
guess.
fess up.
Because regularly watching sports is good for our mental health, and it makes us happier. That's why I'm in a great mood.
Yeah, this flies. This is contrary to everything I've witnessed about people watching sports. They
I
get
know.
fat and they get angry.
Well, I'm
Yes.
That's exactly right. I like to work it one way or the other. I'm either wolfing nachos and yelling at the TV, or I'm dancing and doing cartwheels. No, it's a study from Japan says, like, literally, sports boosts our mental health, generally makes us happier human beings. This is scanning people's brains while they're watching sports, and it tends to activate those reward circuits, the dopamine, the feelings of pleasure and happiness. And if that's the case, then I have no excuse for my when the dark clouds roll in, because, man, I watch a lot of sports, including once a year at least, as I did Saturday, a bunch of horses on a track.
Oh, nice.
Running to, the Kentucky Derby. And I do love it. And this is not because I grew up in Kentucky, because I kind of missed it as a kid. But having attended it a few times as an adult, it's, as I've said, it's unlike anything else I've ever experienced. But I've just gotten into the race itself and watching the actual race. Forget the pomp and pageantry. Boy, on that last curve when I've already forgotten the horse's name. That's how much
Mystic
I care.
Dan?
Mystic Dan. I was going to say Mystic Dick. I knew that wasn't right.
God.
What'd you call me?
When Mystic Dan made that move on the rail on the inside corner, I mean, I was literally yelling at the TV. I was like, "Oh my God, go!" It was really, really exciting. It's a sport I know just enough to know about to get excited by it. And
How much did you win
details.
on the long shot?
I did not bet. See, that's the
I
problem.
thought you said on Friday you were going to bet on the long shot.
I was lying through my teeth.
Sunday morning, I was at the Dirty Rotten Biker Fest, but Sunday morning I wake up, I went, oh yeah, the Derby. So I just watched the replay, very dull. And I saw the long shot Mystic Dan. If you put down 100, you won over 1,900. And I went, I bet that son of a Gorman put money on Mystic Dan, but then I didn't receive a text. Yeah, so
but as they came out of the paddock, I saw that Mystic Dan's rider was wearing the black and green, and of course I went, "Oh, the mint chocolate chip guy. That's who I should have bet on." That was what I said.
The Girl Scout cookie guy.
Well, yeah, exactly. A little too late in the game. I probably could have called somebody maybe, but and I did have that thought at some point. I was like, I got at least 20 people I know that are at the track. I could text one of them and say, just go put a $10 bet on whatever. And then I was already like, and then I would have to make them send me a picture of the betting slip, so when I won, they didn't just claim it for themselves. And then I was like, screw it. I don't want to give someone a reason to screw me over. I just won't bet at all. But it was fun. And then Saturday night, the Timberwolves, as we mentioned, this is a very, very real thing. We've been talking about this a lot, Tony, in your absence, the fact that the Timberwolves have been, it's decades since everyone felt really, really good about them. I understand that a lot of our listeners probably have just kind of faded away. But boy, the bandwagon is ready and rolling, and this team is for real. And I'm not basing that on just my perspective. I'm hearing anecdotally from huge Hooper fans I know the last 3 months, like, hey, dude, that's a real team there. That's a real team there. And then now, after they swept the Suns, and then the Game 1 win over Denver with tonight Game 2, there is a huge buzz. And I'm talking, and now nationally, everybody's going, hey, this kind of reminds me of, and they're looking back at teams throughout history where you're like, like when the Bulls first got over on Detroit, everybody thought, Detroit's going to come back. They'll figure this out. They'll straighten this out. And everybody's expecting the same thing of Denver. Oh, no, hang on. They're going to figure it out. They're defending champs. The defending champs are weak, and they're slow, and they're hurt. I think Jamal Murray's not 100%. And right now, Anthony Edwards has taken such a leap. We have the best player on the court, not named Nikola Jokic, but we have but Anthony Edwards, he's the best 22-year-old on the planet. And it's just there. It's just like, it's right there for them to go through with this and then suddenly elevate the entire conversation about what this team's possible, what they're capable of doing, and what's possible. So it's really exciting tonight, Game 2.
And Ant-Man I love that he's becoming the new face of the NBA and everybody talking about it. And he's so enthusiastic, and he's incredible to watch.
What I'm hearing story. Both of you say, and the excitement I'm feeling from both of you, is there's still time to get on the Timberwolves bandwagon to have your soul crushed.
Yes,
absolutely. There's still
100%.
a chance for a big Minnesota disappointment here.
100%.
Well, it's exciting. I hear people talking about the Timberwolves, and they're not talking about shooting them, as in up north, a good Timberwolf hunting season. Something about this basketball. I'll tell you what. Yeah. So when do they play again tonight?
Tonight they play Game 2 in Denver, and Conley, the president of the team, the guy who put this team together, made the Gobert trade, all that stuff. He came from the Nuggets. I mean, he built this team with Denver in mind. Like there's one guy that I have to beat, and that is Denver. That's the team I was working with out there. And it's just going to be. I mean, they were built They were literally built with Denver in mind, and now a round earlier than we would have expected. Everyone thought this was going to be a Western Finals. This is a Western Semifinals. That's just how it goes. Knock them out right now, and man, it's just. I think it's smooth sailing over Dallas. Call me crazy.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Mark Cuban get upset too.
Well, I should say I do think I'm saying Dallas. It could also be OKC, but I just feel like OKC is too far ahead of schedule. Anyway, all this to say, see how great my mood is, and watch the Wolves lose tonight. I'm going to come in tomorrow and just be ridiculously angry. I won't have slept. I'll be furious. I'll be bitching at everybody. I'll be like,
that's
great.
what we like. You stick to what you know.
That's entertaining.
Tony comes back and the Wolves lose.
Oh yeah,
blame
Not
him
happening.
for all that. That'll be fantastic. Lots to look forward to around here. With the now I've completely talked myself into. I think we're going to win the title this year. Listen to me. I just do it to myself. I dig a hole and then I jump right in it with the best of them. It's kind of fun being me sometimes. All right, we got other things we're going to get into throughout the day. So a nice, nothing better than a local hero story. We got that coming up a little later in the show. I know what we need to do. We need to head west. It's time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report here in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, May the 6th. And right now it's time to head west for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Hey, good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Good morning, Steve, the lovely Candace. Good morning, Zep. Hey, Tony, welcome back. Miss you, buddy. Great to see Tony here, too. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope part of your weekend was going to Marcus Theaters, seeing yourself a good movie. There was a bunch of good movies out, more coming your way. And tomorrow, Tuesday, Marcus Theaters, $6 for any movie at any Marcus Theaters. It's the best movie theater chain in the country. Like a little love nuggets? I got some for you. Friends of Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon say that the two have been living together for over a year and seriously talking marriage. By the way, Ines is a jewelry designer. Meanwhile, I don't understand this. Brad Pitt just finished shooting an untitled Formula One movie. No release date set. But other than that, Brad doesn't have any acting gigs on his calendar for the next 18 months, maybe 2 years. Not doing any acting, but is doing a lot of producing at least 10 movies. You want some scoop on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? Well, here you go. So Taylor has told Travis she wants their relationship to be more private, less public. And he has agreed. And some very surprised that Travis was at the Kentucky Derby going to all the parties and hanging out without Taylor Swift. Well, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, over the last week or so, Taylor has been tweaking her tour. And on Thursday, Taylor Swift resumes her tour in Paris, France. I understand she flew to Paris either Saturday afternoon or yesterday morning. All is fine. They talk 4 or 5 times a day by phone, so there's no problem there. Odds and ends. This week, Whoopi Goldberg will release a book of her memoirs called Sister Act. In it, she admits that she almost died when hooked on hard drugs. Hey, Whoop, maybe you could tell us something we didn't already know. That's been common knowledge for decades. So glad that she got herself straight. Good for her. I don't know. Senile? I don't know. 93-year-old William Shatner, serious as a heart attack, says he really wants to do one more Star Trek. Well, if they decided to do another Star Trek, it'd take, a couple years to write, another couple years to shoot. So that would make Shatner, 98, 99 years old. Sorry, Bill, don't think that's going to happen. Hey, what's up with all these actors buying England's soccer teams? Latest, Will Ferrell spending millions, joining the likes of Ryan Reynolds, Russell Crowe, rapper Storm Z, and some country singers also looking to perhaps buying into England soccer teams. And I got another television series for you that I want to recommend. It's on Netflix, written and produced by David E. Kelly, directed by Regina King, who I love, and starring Jeff Daniels, also one of my favorite actors. It has a weird title, A Man in Full. A Man in Full. Not for kids. Some reviewers hated it. I loved it. A Man in Full, Netflix, 1 season, 6 episodes, 3.5 stars. Hey, have a great day, and we will do it again tomorrow. Mike Evans, see ya.
I got a Hollywood tidbit for you. Jack Nicholson, when he appeared in the original Batman movie, the one from, 89, when Michael Keaton was Batman.
Yeah, sounds about right.
What's his name? The director, Tim
Burton.
Thank you. I was going to say Tim Robbins, knowing that was incorrect. Tim Burton. Nicholson's contract gave him a percentage of all sequels.
Pretty savvy.
He's not been in them, but he's made massive money from those. Well over $100 million earned from movies he did not appear in.
I would think so, but I mean, not the ones that went to the other studio. And
no, just Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin throughout the 90s.
Probably lost money on that George Clooney one, but
it lost money on it.
Good God, I know there was Robert Downey Jr. deciding to take a little piece of the pie for that Iron Man thing, and put him in the Forbes top 500, I think.
Something kind of insane about that. I've still not seen Iron Man. I've been told several times, no, it's really, you got to watch it. One of these days.
Yeah, it's great.
One of these days, one of these days, I'll get around to it.
You stick with your sports.
Yeah, you know what? I think I will. On this day, May the 6th, 1915, Boston Red Sox slugger Babe Ruth hit the first home run of his career. Okay, that is 109 years ago, and there's not one person who can hear this show that doesn't know who he was. My 21-year-old daughter knows who Babe Ruth was. 109 years from now, what contemporary athlete will anybody have any clue about them having ever played a game? Not too many of them, I can tell you that.
No.
I mean, the guy, we still talk about Babe Ruth.
Probably just Bill Lambier, I would think.
Mary Lou Retton.
That's, you know what? That's true. God, you guys are just right there. There's two. Fair enough. And then Magic Dan. What was that horse's name?
Mystic Dan.
Mystic Dan. That's the other one.
Well, he has the candy bar, so every generation goes, why do they call it a Babe Ruth? Well, there was a baseball player once.
Bill Lambier, Mary Lou Retton, and Magic Dan walk into a bar.
Mystic Dan.
Whatever. 2 days later, and I can't remember the bastard's name. All right, on this day in 1954, Roger Bannister from the from Great Britain became the first man to break a 4-minute mile 70 years ago. The crazy thing, I didn't break a 4-minute mile till the late 90s. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. That never happened. That dude was humming.
Was that Chariots of Fire? Was that all about
no, that? That was a different story.
All right.
British runners.
Yeah.
British runners, to be sure. Let's see. So he broke it. It was like just barely got under the 4-minute mark. That record now these days is well
340s, I think.
Yeah, it's they're just shaving it like crazy.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Monday, May the 6th. Yesterday in the Twin Cities, the Minnesota Twins lost 9-2 to the Boston Red Sox. The streak is over.
Yeah.
Not the only streak that came to a conclusion over the weekend. The more important streak was Tony Lee's absence from the studio streak ended at I don't even know how many days, but it felt like a year. Tony is back, and we're all very, very happy to say welcome back. Took a little break from the show, finally passed the bar. He is now a member. Wait, was it illegal? What was happening? You got your law degree finally? What happened?
Who knew that a simple arrow in the head would lead to over a month out of the studio? It was a surprise to all of us.
Yeah, no William, one of the boys just missed wide. That apple on the head trick, Tony, that's only in the movies.
It's good to see your mugs.
When I think of streaks and streaking, I think of you, Tony. Absolutely.
Well, on the talk and text line, Charlie clearly thinks the same. He just wrote, "Welcome back, Tony. Hope the penis reduction surgery went well."
Nice. Well, it was in the way. You don't understand how
he
intrusive that can be.
He bounces as he walks now. It's like he's lighter.
The Dockers are looser now.
I mean, putting a totally new spin on the old expression, hung like a draft horse. I'd never really. Man, good to see you back, man.
Oh, it's good to be here, you kooks.
It does feel like things make a little bit more sense, and quite sincerely. So, very, very thrilled to have everybody back on the morning show. Last night. On Netflix, there was, of all things, a roast for Tom Brady.
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you really?
How was it? God,
Yep.
I love those roasts.
Candace Wheeler watched a Tom Brady roast. What led to that decision?
Randy Moss. Duh.
I don't. So connect those dots for me, please.
No, I thought it would be fun to watch it, and I didn't see any promotion of it. I was just on Netflix, and it said it was going to start in 20 minutes, and I was like, cool. I like a lot of these comedians. Tom Segura was on there, and Bert Kreischer, and Nikki Glazer. She really killed the show, but I'm so jealous of her. She's so cool and funny and pretty, and
she's great.
They said there was some controversy that Jeff Ross, Tom Brady, objected to his comments. About the owner. I want to know what the hell he said.
Here it is.
So Tom became a Patriot, moved up to New England, and on the first day of training camp, that scrawny rookie famously walked into the owner, Robert Kraft's office, and said, "I'm the best decision your organization has ever made." Would you like a massage?
Listen to this.
I love Robert Kraft. I love
that again.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Tom Brady.
He's having fun. Look at him.
Yeah, it was not having fun, and a very serious, sideline, about ready to throw the iPad onto the ground and smash it or whatever. Maybe it was an iPad. But anyway, he walks over to Jeffrey Ross. He said, "That's enough of that Shiite right there." And shut her down. I'm like, Tom, it's a roast,
So
brother.
Tom-
Here it is.
I love Robert Kraft. I love
that again.
Okay.
I guess
Anything
Having
goes
fun.
at
Look
those.
at him.
he felt the need to defend the honor of Robert Kraft.
Right, yeah, the pristine honor.
Yeah. I guess that's one way to. Well, he's a loyal guy. But you know what? And by the way, do you not know who Jeff Ross is? I mean, he is the Roastmaster General. He's he's the guy who single-handedly revived the whole concept of roasts.
Yeah.
And
who's not going to take a shot at the owner of your football team that you were with and won 6 Super Bowls that got a handy during Super Bowl weekend from
Huge
some
story.
some side sleazy massage parlor, as if there is another kind. But that and Candace mentioned Segura's on there, Kreischer's on there. You don't think someone's going to take a shot at it, but Tom was calling the shots. You know who works clean? Peyton Manning works clean.
It is great to be here with a bunch of people sitting around talking smack about Tom Brady, or as we call that in the Manning family, Thanksgiving. One thing that Tom and I definitely have in common, though, is our love of the game of golf. And listen, not to brag, we're both pretty good players. My handicap is a 6.4, while Tom's handicap is blowing leads in the Super Bowl to my brother Eli. The last time Tom Brady had to wait this long to get on stage, it was the 2000 NFL Draft.
There you go. Those old chums taking shots at each other.
That's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and then Brady gave it back to Peyton Manning.
Peyton, I know sometimes you live in Denver and sometimes you live in Louisiana, but you'll always live in my shadow.
There it is.
Kind of hard to argue.
Yeah.
Hard to argue there. It is. It's interesting. Tom Brady's always been, I should say Peyton Manning has always been, a really funny guy. Like he did SNL and he's really good at it. He's always had more shtick. Brady was always so buttoned up, and it just makes perfect sense. I guarantee you, if Peyton Manning got roasted, he would not take offense to something Jeffrey Ross said.
No.
But Jeffrey Ross, I saw the clip, and he smiles. He looks up like, okay. But, on the football field, Brady looks slow, and he doesn't look very athletic, and he looks like somebody could just ragdoll him.
Right.
On a dais full of comedians, he's a giant. He's Sasquatch. He's 6'5", and he leans over Jeffrey Ross's face, and Ross is like, I didn't think that was going to happen.
That's so funny.
There's a little bit of nerves when a guy as big as Tom Brady gets in your face and says, don't say that crap again.
I'm sure that's not the first time someone's gotten in Jeffrey Ross's face as well. Everybody talking about how Bill Belichick, the head coach, just killed it. I don't know. I thought he was okay.
Ron Burgundy, the only member of the media I respect. You know, the fellas invited me up here to lighten up the mood a little bit tonight. A lot of mean things being said about Tom tonight. I wonder why they invited me. Really, Tom, why are all these people so hard on you? Do you miss me? A lot of people connected me with a saying called "do your job" and telling people to do their job. And Gronk, I've been watching on Fox NFL Sunday, and I'm begging you, please, stop doing your job. But believe it or not, I've got a lot of nice things to say about Tom, but I'm running out of time here. I see your soccer team, Birmingham City, got knocked down to another tier in the English Football League, so they suck.
It's pretty animated.
Sounds like a laugh track in the background.
Yeah, a little bit. But
I saw Bill Belichick once in real life in Baltimore, Maryland. I was at my nephew's high school lacrosse game, and he was the assistant coach for the other team.
Wow.
The true story. Lacrosse is huge in Baltimore. It's like the biggest sport in Baltimore, prep schools thing. Big Maryland thing. And also in the Northeast, lacrosse is huge. I mean, it's bigger some places than others. And so there was a huge tournament, and a team from Massachusetts had come down to Baltimore, and Belichick's kid was on that team, and he was literally there as an assistant coach. He's the head coach of the Patriots. It's like 2007, and I'm like, I'm on the field, and my brother goes, hey, you see that coach over there? And I'm like, that guy looks, he goes, it is. I'm like, that's Bill Belichick? He goes, yeah, it's like his third year in a row. He comes down in the off season for the Patriots, and he's his kid's assistant lacrosse coach.
Go sit in the stands and enjoy your kid playing lacrosse. Bill, knock it off.
And by the way, on the sideline over there, it was just all smiles, laughing, and my brother goes, everybody says he's the greatest guy, like an awesome hang. And I've heard that for years, that away from the cameras and away from, he just put on that Belichick shtick, but in private, apparently just a life of the party, real fun guy. But it remains to be seen.
Just crusty with the media.
Yeah, he's done a couple of things on ESPN. Or is it McCaffrey, whatever his name is, his podcast or whatever that he does on ESPN.
Oh, McAfee.
McAfee, that's it.
McAfee.
So McAfee, that's it. He's on with him. And, he's smiling, light, affable dude. Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Also, fun fact, Bill Belichick went to his senior prom with my sister-in-law, Bunny Gorman.
Seriously?
They were in school together from like
date?
6th grade on in Annapolis, Maryland. Yeah.
Did he put out?
Don't know. Never got the full story. Didn't feel comfortable asking.
All right,
There was when he was the Cleveland Browns coach in the early '90s. I'm at my brother's house. It's Christmas, '91 maybe, Christmas '91, and it's like the Browns are on TV. Back when you had like 2 games and you didn't have a lot of choices, and it was like whatever the network game was. And so we're sitting there, of course, as you do. I don't think it was Christmas Day, but it was that weekend, watching the Cleveland Browns football. And Bunny, my oldest brother Bob's wife, she comes walking through the den with a basket of clothes. Young mom doing laundry, always working. And as she just walks by, she just glances up, looks at the TV, and goes, "Oh, that's Bill Belichick," and keeps walking. And we're like, "Huh?"
Okay.
And I go, "What? But you recognize the coach?" She goes, "Oh yeah, we went to high school together. Hey, I went to prom with him." Next thing I know, I'm looking at a photo of them. I'm like, "What? You just looked at the TV?" And she goes, "Well, I mean, I know he's a football or does something to do with football." And I'm like, "He's the head coach of the Browns. It's not something to do with football.
He's sportsy."
Holy crap!
And he already had a Super Bowl ring and being the defensive coordinator with Parcells of the Giants at that
That's
point.
Exactly
in his career.
right.
So,
That's
he's been
exactly
around.
right.
A little something to do with football.
I wonder where they went to dinner before prom.
I don't know.
Let's see. Molemeisters was a place in Annapolis, if memory serves.
Just talked about football the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. His dad was, I guess, an admiral in the Navy. Something like that. Yeah. Big time Naval Academy kid.
Yeah. Didn't he coach, actually, for a Navy?
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Maybe he
coached
in Annapolis.
Oh, wait. No. It's my sister-in-law's dad was an admiral. Someone's dad was an admiral. I think it was Buddy's dad. Yeah, that's right. Well, one of these things. It's starting to make sense a little bit, I guess. So let's see what else we got here on the show today. Oh, that's right. A school district in Ohio was on lockdown because there was a Sasquatch sighting. Finally.
Yeah, well, you're laughing.
Finally, Bigfoot it popped up in Ohio. The entire school district went. People saw Bigfoot on a campus. They put the entire school district on lockdown.
Why?
It wasn't. I'm sorry to say, actually a Bigfoot. It wasn't a Yeti. It wasn't a Sasquatch, as you might want to say.
No?
No, it was a parent, just in a Bigfoot costume, who was playing a, quote, prank on the school.
Well, that's funny right there, you see.
It's Bigfoot!
Yeah.
Never made it into the school. He was just out there walking around the grounds. Oh. A lot of people overreacting. But then, this is a full-sized adult man dressed in a costume that looks like a woodland monster walking around the grounds of a school. Kind of a weird choice.
You know what would scare me even more on a school grounds than actually seeing Bigfoot or Sasquatch on the school grounds?
What's that?
Some weird dude dressed up as Bigfoot or Sasquatch on the school grounds. That's what I would have thought. I went, well, that's not Bigfoot, but that's some dumbass dressed up as Bigfoot, and that seems like it could pose a threat to our children.
Must have been pretty realistic. Cool costume.
I mean, it's the age-old question. Would you rather hang out with a bear or a Bigfoot or a man? Oh, wait, no, that's something I'm... See that all last week?
Choices.
Yeah, these kind of choices we have. By the way, also, great news for everyone involved here. It is National Beverage Day. We can discuss all the cocktails we need to celebrate. And you know what? I don't know. All I know is Tony's back, and I'm in a good mood.
Thank you kindly.
Oh, thank you kindly.
Oh,
let's talk about getting drunk in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Bob Seger, Old Time Rock and Roll. I think it's Bob Seger's birthday today. I could be wrong. But he's trending on Twitter, which is, of course, you get on Twitter and you're like, oh, why is he trending? Oh, it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Bob.
There he is. Yeah, he's sharing it with George Clooney. Oh, and Gabriella
Reese?
No, Gabrielle Sidibe. Sidibe. Anyone knows who that is? 41 years of age.
Nope.
Okay, I thought for sure Candace would know. Millie Ways, or Willie Mays is another way to say that, and Orson Welles. And Freud.
Wow.
That messed up Mofacky.
There's a photo. I have a photo of my dad with Willie Mays in the early 70s. Never saw it as a kid. The first time I saw it was like 10 years ago. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What was he doing with him?
Well, my dad worked at the time in between bowling stints. He was working for a boat company in Baltimore, a yacht company, Concord Yachts. And I guess Willie was looking to buy a boat or something. And they're standing there, and my dad's like, they're right next to a boat, and my dad's pointing like, this is a boat. That's what the photo looks like. And Willie's like, hey, say hey, Don. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but it's just one of those things. Like, I saw that photo the first time. I mean, literally, I was a full-grown man. I was like, wait, how did I never, why wasn't this like, why didn't we have this like poster-sized?
Right.
Yeah,
what
right.
What are you doing, Dad?
You hang that one above the mantle. You take down the family picture and you put that one up. By the way, I see they have a new Concorde 41. yacht for sale here for
you still see him occasionally
for a slim $445,000.
The Concord yachts out of Baltimore, the 72 oil embargo brought that company to a quick halt. Like many in the boating industry, the oil embargo was like, boats? No, not for a while. Sorry. At least that's the story I heard. For all I know, it could have been embezzlement. Who knows?
They've diversified into marine electronics. It looks like they're doing very well.
Oh, well, great. We missed that ride. For a little while there, it was pretty sweet. There was a brief gilded era that we call Camelot, where we were on the Chesapeake Bay in boats all of a sudden. Like, hey, we got a boat? It was like, we got whichever one we want. And then all of a sudden we didn't.
And then it was off to the radio station or bowling alley.
It was all of them. It was, let's see, it was bowling, and then it was boats, and then it was bowling again, and then it was radio, and then it was a quick stint with a spring company, and then we owned a restaurant.
That's a lot of variety.
There's a lot. He was bouncing around. Ping pong ball, that guy.
The spring company. Kids?
It was like this one company. They made all the springs for in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. There's a company that makes all the springs for Ford. You know how many springs are in a car? A lot.
It's like Spacely sprockets.
So many, every size, Pretty much. It was like that. But going back to Bob Seger, Old Time Rock and Roll, a great song. And in case you're just now joining us, Tony Lee's back today after an extended absence. And to celebrate, he just danced in his underwear to Old Time Rock and Roll. Woo! Very Tom Cruise-esque. Thanks for that, Tony.
You guys enjoy a good Speedo, and I was aware of that.
Yeah, here's Wally.
Shopping.
Wally, I thought, texted this one in. Awfully sweet. Missed you, Tony. Happy you're back. Never realized how important you are to the show, but Gorman and Zepp can't stand on their own without you.
Glaringly obvious. I guess.
That's awkward.
One way to bring that to light.
Did you write that, Tony?
We have to leave.
Was that you? You're Wally on the KQ Talking text line?
I wanted
That's two P's, by the way, Wally. Z-E-P-P.
Tony's just mad you excluded me. I guess this was the Brian and Zepp show, so...
What are we talking about now?
Sting a tad.
The Brian and Zepp show? We got both. We got Brian and Zepp holding court here. Jill says, welcome back, Tony. We missed you so much. Zepp just doesn't like musicals like you do.
Well, not many people do with such an enthusiasm and savoir-faire.
And Jill, let me correct you. Zepp hates musicals.
Yeah.
How did that come up? Why are you guys talking about music?
I don't know. Jill's who knows? Jill's stoned again.
Yeah.
Well, when we would reference you not being here, we would usually break into song.
Right. Something.
Where is Tony?
Something from Wicked.
And I would just
he's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. He always says he's coming back. A lot of Music Man type of things. Oh, Tony's coming back, and we're having fun because we got straw hats and kazoos.
That's
and
lovely.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing.
God.
To celebrate the return of Anthony Lee to the KQ Morning Show, we are popping back some beverages. Oh, that's right. No, it's not because of you're here. It's because it's National Beverage Day. Today, who says May 6th is anything?
Right.
I mean, but it's National Beverage Day, an event that has been on the books since 1921, which I will remind you, in 1921, if you wanted a beverage that was going to get you juiced, you had to go to get vanilla extract or something, or head to the Canadian border, because that was Prohibition was already up and running then. But National Beverage Day is a real thing, and we basically. So I mean, obviously, go just drink some beverages, whatever you like. I mean, get yourself an Arnold Palmer, get yourself a Long Island iced tea, get yourself a beer, whatever.
A Brandy Alexander, perhaps.
How about a Brandy Alexander? Does anyone know what that is?
I don't even know what it is. But
is that one of the
you
drinks?
Said 1921.
Do they light that on fire?
It's brandy with cream, I think.
That's Bananas Foster.
Oh.
I always get Bananas Foster and Brandy Alexander.
Tom Collins. My mom used to like a Tom Collins.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
How about a Fresca?
Oh, nice. That would be nice.
I worked with a guy whose last name was Foster, and we called him Bananas all the time, and he would just get pissed.
You got to roll with that if your name's Foster.
Of course.
Light yourself on fire.
I mean, Foster, it sounds like it's like when you'd watch Mutual Omaha and what was the guy's name? Yule Perkins. Marlon Perkins.
Marlon Perkins, yeah.
My cabana boy Foster wrestled the crocodile while we sat in the treehouse.
Yeah.
It's always like a name like that.
Jim, and he never wore shoes.
No, there was Jim. Yeah.
He had to be barefoot in his custodian outfit.
The Gila monster gets a hold of Jim's big toe, as you can see here. The most Googled cocktail in 31 states is a margarita. A margarita.
Yeah. Most popular drink in America.
Yeah, really. I guess people are still wondering how much,
mix,
what
tequila,
kind of salt.
Yeah.
9 states, as well as our nation's capital, Google martini more than any other.
That's even more simple.
It is.
Vermouth.
And it's pretty much it. But here's the third. This is a weird one. The Constantine is the top searched drink in Michigan, New Mexico, both Dakotas, and West Virginia. Zepp, do you have any idea what a Constantine is? You're a South Dakotan.
I assume they're trying to Google constipation and they just get it wrong. I have no idea what a Constantine is.
A Constantine is served in a coupe glass. The garnish is a Luxardo maraschino cherry. Yeah. And it involves this: Heyman's London Dry Gin, Vermouth di Torino, Luxardo maraschino liqueur, Lafite Parisian absinthe, and orange bitters. That sounds like you've already thrown up into a glass.
Not interested.
Yeah, you order one of those from a bar in South Dakota, from a bartender, you're going to get run out of town.
Right.
They're going to drag you out of town behind a big pickup truck.
Over the weekend in Kentucky, we don't have any. There's no doubt mint julep would have been the drink for the weekend at the Kentucky Derby. Man, I tell you what, I've had a lot of mint juleps people have made in a lot of different Kentucky Derby parties, and they're all terrible. But when you go to the track and get one there, it's the best thing you've ever had.
I've never had one. Is it like ice cream, or am I thinking of something else?
You're thinking of something else, honey.
Maybe a grasshopper.
You're thinking like a grasshopper.
Oh.
Yeah, no. A mint julep is well, the way they do it, it's basically, it's Woodford reserved over very nice little chewy crushed ice sort of thing, and something else, and then just a big sprig of mint, a leaf of mint. Whatever it is, it's just like mother's milk. You just sit there and you look up and you go, oh, no, I had 9 of them.
It's refreshing.
These things
Who
happen.
won the race? What day is it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah. We mentioned Tom Brady was roasted on Netflix last night, and we played some clips earlier in the show. I saw Tom Brady in person at a Kentucky Derby party.
Did he have a big hat?
He wasn't wearing the hat, but he was wearing a really cool, like a zoot suit. And by the way, I was shocked to see Tom Brady. Not that I was shocked to see him. There was a lot of like celebrities at this big event. I was shocked at how big he was because I'm 6'3", and I was looking up at him like easy 6'5" in dress shoes. Just a horse of a man. I was like, holy crap! I had no idea. Right. Just didn't strike me as that big of a guy. At the same party, Barry Bonds was there. And he had retired, and his head had shrunk down to normal size again. And I couldn't stop staring at him either. I was like, look at Barry Bonds. He looks like his rookie card again. That is insane.
Was he a little tubby?
He was no. He still looked really good. The moment of the night. If you turned on the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, you noticed NBC. They were like, "Oh, the celebs out," and it was Jimmy Fallon, who hosts the Tonight Show. He's a big celebrity, and then it went right to Smokey Robinson, and then a bunch of people I've never heard of. And I was like, "Wow, a little dry this year. Not quite the A-listers you would have expected." And Smokey, another guy I saw at the Kentucky Derby one year. So I guess that's a thing for him. It's just on his docket.
Yeah.
Pulled up to so in Louisville, Kentucky, that whole week there's just giant parties, private parties, and all the wealthy people have come to my house, and they're all fundraisers for whatever, but it's just an excuse for people to wear crazy clothes and all get wasted.
Oh, fun.
And so there's this one that's really big, the Barnstable Brown Party, and we got hooked up, and we went. Me and guys I used to, just a couple buddies, and we go to this party, and we pull up, and it's in a residence in a nice neighborhood, but they have the spotlights, like a movie premiere spotlights, the 4 of them going. Sure. And then they set up bleachers across the street. There's like 4,000 people just watching the celebrity red carpet arrivals. Oh. It's like but again, it's in a residential neighborhood, so it's a little weird pulling up to this thing. And Michael Buffer is standing there. The boxing announcer is announcing the celebrities as they arrive. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Kentucky. And, you're like, who? Whatever.
Oh, weird.
And so we pull up. I'm driving a car, me and my 2 buddies. And as I pull up to the valet, and we're like, you look over to the side, and there's a red carpet, and there's all these famous, and people are in, like, really decked out, like crazy dress. Yeah. And you hear the people cheering, and I'm like, is that Michael Buffer? And the whole thing is like weird. Like we're taking this all in and trying to make sense of it.
Odd.
And as I step out of the car, 2 things happen simultaneously. I am flooded with spotlights. All the lights hit me. And I hear Michael Buffer say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Smokey Robinson." and I'm like, oh my God. And everyone roar, the roar of the crowd. And I just turn and wave like, hey, I just drove over here on the tracks of my tears. I'm like, what do I do? And it lasted for all of like 1.5 seconds. I'm awash in light and I'm waving to the adoring fans. And then all the spotlights immediately go to the car in front of me, and there, standing outside that car, is Smokey Robinson. And I was like, man, for a hot second there, I was a Motown legend.
Smokey tosses you his keys. Park the kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Smokey Robinson. That voice, I was like, holy crap. The only thing I can do now is go inside and drink a lot of mint juleps. It was pretty great. A lot of fun. That's all I'm saying. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm staking my claim again. By God, a year from now, we got to be at that Derby. All of us.
That sounds so amazing.
Oh, I just want a hat. Big floppy hat.
We'll get you a big hat.
I'll sit here and push buttons for you guys.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. It's humid.
It's horse. It's not so much. It's usually rainy. Just the fact that it wasn't raining was nice.
It's the same weekend as the Dirty Rotten Biker Fest. I can't go.
Come on, get with the Dirty Rotten Horse Fest. It's a similar kind of vibe.
Well, the horses okay this year. None collapsed.
Oh, they did shoot 2 of them.
Oh, lovely.
They did not.
Just for sport.
I mean, full of steroids to help them run faster.
Sure. Yeah. I was looking at Twitter ahead of the race and people, because I follow a few people in friends who are really, like I said, really into this stuff. And I wanted to see what they were pricking and who they were thinking is going to win. And there's just a really hearty mix of, oh my God, I love the hats, and holy smokes, those horses are amazing athletes, and then this is a cruelty to animals. It's like my Twitter feed was just all over the place. But every now and again, I would just see Twitter fights breaking out over how horrible this is to treat these animals this way. And I guess there's some truth to that, but then I'm looking at it going, yeah, but that guy right there, he's about to be retired to stud, and he's going to live the next 30 years.
Life.
Just a life of...
All you got to do is survive it, right? And then it's you've got the life. I'm looking at Sports Illustrated here. The story from Thursday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency issued news release that raised eyebrows and revived suspicions in thoroughbred racing. In the first 4 months of this year, the Port of Cincinnati has intercepted 8 shipments of venom from snakes, scorpions, and spiders, and other substances used as performance enhancers on horses. Venom?
You bring a vial of snake venom near me, and I'm running faster. I can promise you that.
That's crazy.
I love. This is what I love about thoroughbred horses. First of all, they're all crazy. They're bred to run really fast and just stand around the stall and eat and crap.
They seem kind of nuts, don't they?
They're very, very, very like keyed up, and I love the goat concept. They put actual goats in the stables with the horses. It calms them down.
Oh, right.
Really?
So if you're walking through the stables at a track, you will see a lot of thoroughbred horses. A lot of them in their stable. There's a goat just sitting there like, what's up?
How would they discover that a goat is calming to a horse?
No,
they've had a long time to figure it out.
You're not calming to the goat, is it? To be in there with one of these monster animals?
You wouldn't think so.
Jeez, watch your step there, big boy.
Right.
What are you looking at me like that for?
What makes a goat so soothing?
It's
Candace.
They're just...
Candace? On behalf of the horses, Candace?
No, I mean, I don't know horses. I know goats.
Yeah.
But, they're they're like dogs, they like attention and they like to hang around. I don't know. They smell good to me. At least mine do. I know that some goats don't smell good, like milk goats, but I don't have those. I have small little pygmy goats, and they're just they're sweet, and they jump around, and they're cute and fun and perfect.
You smell like a milk goat.
Well, you son of a... No one talks to me like that.
So in answer to the question, what's the big thing with goats and horses? They're cute and they're perfect.
They just bounce around. Yeah.
I do like the idea. It's like the thoroughbred with the goat. It's like an animal version of upstairs, downstairs. You know, the aristocracy and the servants. I was bred to race around this track. Well, I was bred to be your dog's body, but it's a ghost body. Would you like me to eat some more of your crap for a laugh? I don't mind. I'm a goat. I'll eat anything. I need a different goat. I mean, man, I've just, and again, I have such a peripheral experience with horse racing, but I've been around those horses, and they just, like, when you get near a thoroughbred like that, if you pat a thoroughbred like on its hindquarters, hey, good race, Sparky, it's like hitting a concrete wall. Yeah, they are solid muscle.
I mean, I went out to the state fair one time, and I forget, it was 15 years ago, and they had one of these big, in fact, it won 2 of the 3 big races, so it didn't get the crown, but it's the celebrity horse.
Big Brown? Big Brown was a bad boy.
I don't remember which one it was. So many years ago, Sid the Kid very much into horses. We're at the state fair. I take her over to the Horse Expo building there to see this racehorse. Never been in the present. I grew up around quarter horses, buckskins, Appaloosas. Yeah. Holy, that was a whole different kind of animal. That thing was like a size of a dinosaur, and it was like muscles rippled on top of muscles, and it just ran around. It kind of scared the hell out of me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
I imagine being like a little pygmy fella jumping up on the back of that thing, and then getting on a track with a bunch of other monsters and racing full speed around.
It's so violent.
It's got to be just the incredible rush. But yeah, these horses are something else.
When I was in college, I was playing in a band. My brother Dave was the singer. I was the drummer, and we just with some friends. It started as Alfred and the Stately Wayne Manners. That was the name of the band. Just a cover band, stupid bar band, or not bar band, party band. We were having a good time. But then we started playing more and more parties, and we would change the name of the band for every performance. So just a different theme.
Well, that's funny.
And in 1985, we played it was Derby weekend, and we played a show. And we called ourselves Swale, which was the 1984 Kentucky Derby winner.
Oh, okay.
Swale, Swale. We honored Swale. Swale had 8 days after the Belmont just collapsed and died. The dog. And so we had T-shirts made up, which were my brother with a Sharpie wrote on a bunch of white T-shirts and yellow T-shirts, and the party was called Swale, out of the gate running late, and but it was it was festive, it was nice. We paid tribute to Swale, and it was funny because we were, of course, drunk college kids making fun of a horse that had died in the state of Kentucky the following Derby weekend,
right?
And I'd say probably 8 attendees at the party wanted to fight us.
Oh, they took offense.
That is not funny, man.
It is
it's
funny.
A beautiful animal. Well, yeah, I know, but we're just drunk college kids.
Right, exactly.
Tribute.
Yeah, I mean, we could have called ourselves Michael Jordan's knee because he had a tendon problem too. It's the same idea. Whatever.
Hey, he's a North Carolina kid. That's getting a little close to home.
We're trying to have fun, for crying out loud. Is that so wrong? Is it so wrong to have a good time?
Some people are just looking to be pissed off.
651-989 Rock is the KQ Talk and text line. If you'd like to shoot us a text, feel free. If you want to call, feel free. Candace, who's on the horn right now?
We have Jerry from somewhere in Wisconsin. I couldn't hear.
Jerry, good morning.
That's Terry with the T.
Oh.
Terry.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Talking about the goats in the horse stalls?
Yes, sir.
That's where the saying "got your goat" came from. In the old days, they put a goat in there with the horses to keep them calm. And if you wanted to win the race, you'd have somebody go steal the goat, and then they could say, "Got your goat," and then your horse wouldn't run for crap the next day because he's all worried about his goat.
That's creeping me out. I may never watch a horse race again. What's going on with the horse and the goat? Why are they so emotionally attached to a goat?
It's easy to get emotionally attached to
I've got a blind horse, and I have a goat that has been with him for 15 years. He's a seeing eye goat for the horse.
Wow.
And the horse will stand there, and the goat will dodge underneath him and push him around stuff so he doesn't get into trouble. And that's what it is. There's a trust. The horse won't step on the goat, and they become fast buddies because a horse likes to be is a companion animal. It likes to be in a herd and stuff. So if you separate them, if you don't put somebody with them, they get all wound up. So that's where the goats came in.
It's like Harold and Maude. What a weird combo.
Terry, in your relationship, in your personal relationship, are you the goat or the horse?
Who, me Me?
Yeah.
Well, my wife calls me an old goat, so.
We're the goat.
Damn right.
That's fascinating. Thanks, man.
That's great information. Thank you very much, sir.
Interesting.
If you want to sing out, sing
It's
out.
true though. Yeah, people are always like, "Oh, I want a goat. I want to get a goat." You can't get one goat. You got to get 2 goats, otherwise they'll freak out.
Who says they want a goat?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of
What
cool
about-
people, obviously not in
Dudes
this
trying
room.
to get in your pants on a. Was this at a bar? Or was it about midnight? You know, I love having a goat. Yeah.
Who's open now to this goat?
We'll say anything.
I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, and goats, they're funny. They're not quite like sheep.
I'm trying to barter with Dave to get my goats from Duellum down to Richfield, but I don't know if that's going to work
I'm sure
out.
your
I don't know.
neighbors would love that.
I don't know if Richfield can handle the goats.
Yeah, that's not goat territory down there. You're going to confuse some folks.
I think you got a good thing working right now. I've said many times on the show, I'm not really much of a cruise guy. Never see myself getting on a cruise ship. That may change very soon. They finally offered a cruise. I think we can all agree is worth looking into. We'll share that momentarily. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, May the 6th, the day, a bit of a celebration around here. Tony Lee is back in the saddle, and it is a pleasure, Tony, to see you, brother.
Oh, thank you. Now, who knew that that all-you-can-eat pufferfish special would have affected me so much I'd have to be out for a month? That's unheard of.
If somebody had said to me, who do you think could handle all the puffer fish in the Twin Cities, I would have said Tony Lee. No question about
It
it.
feels so good. Great to see you guys, and the listeners have been so sweet and supportive.
Mostly
I just
sweet.
love you from the bottom of my heart.
Who'd you miss the most?
In life?
What a chick question.
Wow.
Yeah, just say Candace. None of us care, really, except for her.
Tony missed Candace. I'll say it.
I missed you, Scarecrow, most of all.
It is a. It's a real pleasure. We're having a lot of fun. We're just looking at you like, oh, there he is. Here he is.
Yeah,
Look at
right.
Well, I'm
Tony.
pretty.
Look at Tony.
All
It's like
pretty
when
and
you get a
shiny.
new kid in class and everybody starts showing off, and doing their class clown. Says good energy. Tomorrow we'll just be sick of each other again.
We should celebrate by maybe all of us taking a cruise. What do you think?
Okay.
I'm up for it. If you guys are.
To a brewery right after this?
No, I'm thinking.
Real
Let's
cruise.
commit to let's get on a boat. Let's get out in the sun. Let's have fun. And you know what? We have time to prepare because I'm looking at one that doesn't take off until next February.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
A
happens?
Caribbean cruise.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'll just tell you the name of the cruise, the Big Nude Boat.
Oh, well. Okay.
I've got time to get into shape.
Guests will be treated to a, quote, stress-free, clothing-free experience.
Oh.
So you got to wear clothes when the ship is docked, okay? But as soon as it sails out of port, boom, you just strip right down.
Off it comes.
You got to wear clothes in the dining rooms, and if you're sitting on a chair in the pool deck, you have to at least be sitting on a towel. But the self-serve buffet on the pool deck, you can enjoy that food naked.
All right.
Also, photos and videos will only be permitted if everyone involved gives consent. Stop, please. So basically, it's called the Bare Necessities Tour Travel is the company. There is a fully nude cruise.
Wow.
I'm already cruise phobic myself. This one is just more it's so many thoughts. How much sanitizer can I get my hands on?
It would take all day just to get all the sunscreen on, wouldn't it? And all the hard-to-reach places.
There's enough to worry about pirates.
I would never survive. I would fry up.
Yeah, and the buffets. Don't forget, my mom and dad went to a nude beach and ate lunch with another strange couple in the nude. And Dad threw down the warning, watch out for the crumbs. Avoid the toast, he said. Because the crumbs get in all the hard-to-reach spots, and it's uncomfortable, I guess.
Of course.
I remember walking into a strip club once in the afternoon, which was
for the buffet.
It was the very famous, because of the Motley Crue song "Girls, Girls, Girls" Tattletale in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I walked in once, and it was about 1 p.m. and there was a lunch buffet happening.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Huh? and there's just a bunch of guys, like
Sure,
business people
businessmen,
on their
yeah.
lunch break, and they're over there, and they are just whipping up a plate and looking at dancing girls, and I just thought, I didn't see that one coming, and it never would have occurred to me to. I just don't think about food in a place like that.
And they'll tell you they're there for the turkey sandwich. It's good quality.
Yeah, we probably still the one downtown that I'm thinking of. I'm not going to say the name. They're not paying for it. But they have a killer buffet lunch, and it's a strip club. But
I know what you're talking about.
I just couldn't get used to, remember the Double Deuce Club over here in Northeast Minneapolis, the 22 Club. You walk in, and it's your wood panel bar, Steve. It's got the meal of wheat, wheel of meat you spin. It's got pull tabs. It's got wood paneling. It's got Miller High Life posters on the wall, and then you go to the back of the bar and it's a strip club. Wow. It's the Double Deuce. And guys would, buddies of mine are like, hey, meet me for lunch. Okay, where you at? Double Deuce. I'm like, really? Okay. So we go over to the Double Deuce. Nothing wrong with that. But they would get their cheeseburger basket and sit down in Sniffer's Row. I mean, they're right here. The girls are dancing. They're just eating the cheeseburger, having a conversation with you, gazing up at these lovely long women.
I wonder how many of them go there just for lunch and don't even go in the back.
Right? You could go in there on a Friday or Saturday night back in the day, and it's family night. The kids are there. Everybody's having pizza. They're playing pull tabs. And then you go, and then where'd Dad run off to? The bathroom's that way, Dad. Because if you go the other way, sure, they're having a good time.
The same kind of people who used to say things like, did you see that George Plimpton article in Playboy? What a writer.
Yeah.
You read Vanity Fair? Yes.
Yeah. The nude cruise leaves Miami on February 3rd. I love the itinerary. You go to Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas, San Juan, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, and sprinkled in between all these stops, the occasional nude day at sea. I just like that. Nude day at sea, as opposed to the nude day at San Lucia, the nude day at here. Speaking of travel, check this out. Qantas, the airline from Australia. Happy white planes with a red kangaroo in the tail. Looks like a lot of fun. They just apologized and have settled a suit which was brought by a consumer watchdog down under. $79 million fee they are paying. What were they doing wrong? They were selling thousands of tickets to flights they had already canceled.
That ain't right.
They for 8,000 canceled flights worldwide between May of 21 and July of 22. Canceled for all various reasons. Obviously, COVID, a big part of that. But as they were coming back from COVID, they're booking flights, they're not selling it, and so they were canceling flights like crazy. And then still, for up to 2 weeks after they had internally canceled flights, we're still selling tickets.
We don't do anything very well as humans, do we? What the hell?
No, for years.
I mean, they weren't trying to defraud anybody. That's just good old-fashioned incompetence, right?
I think it's fraud. I think it's. I think they're just. I think I can just picture a bunch of guys sitting around those giant Foster's oil cans, and looking out, and they got a little koala over in the corner, and they're just like the straw hat and. Just trying to take it. We'll get a few extra dollars, eh? I won't notice if we smile and talk in a weird accent. It'll get charm. You can coast very far on charm, mate.
I don't know if it's still true, but they used to be the only airline that never had an incident or an accident or a crash.
Oof, boy, they hate it when
Qantas.
you say that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't brag about that. You do then, but yeah. I mean, they did have a good reputation until they started selling fraudulent airfares.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? I guess you'll throw another shrimp on the barbie, mate. Come on down and see us.
A little workout.
Not the kind of thing that really endears you to the customer base, for sure. Speaking of which, though, there are things that we all have our own... the things that turn us on about other people. Like, everybody's got their own, whether you're aware of it or not, you either consciously or subconsciously are attracted to certain traits, certain characteristics about people you might meet. Here's an interesting list. Unexpected things that make someone hot, if you will. People are sharing online all the things that really turn them on. Number one on the list is the ability for someone to be silly or have fun with a dumb joke. How hot are we right now?
Yeah,
The dumber the better.
We're just dumb
confusing
joke
hot
central.
with fun. Yeah, I don't know if someone's acting silly, if that makes me want to mount them. I'm just saying.
Straight to the mount.
You're
A lot of guys start by saying lay aside. You go right to mount.
I was sorry. Well, you said, all right,
That was
unexpected
Kentucky
things.
Derby weekend. It's on your mind. I get it.
Right, yes.
That is true, though. I mean, a good sense of humor is definitely a turn on.
It is a turn on. It's attractive, yes.
That's true. How about this? They don't have to enjoy all of your favorite movies and music, but they do have to take your hobbies and your favorites seriously. Or when they can be interested in something you're passionate about just because it's your interest. So it's like, yeah, we don't have to share the same taste, but you have to respect mine. You have to appreciate how passionate I am about things like, the third Bee Gees album or whatever.
This is about turning people on or just liking them kind of casually. Because guess what? You can make fun of everything that I like and hold dear and sacred, and we can still hop in the sack.
How about this one? This is a turn on. People who look favorably, people who are still friends with their exes.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, that can be a little creepy.
Yeah, then that means you're going to want to be friends with me when you're my ex? I don't think so.
Look, I'll go against the grain here, guys. I'm good friends with the actual women I've had relationships with. Going back to high school.
I do have some very great relationships.
Yeah, you can be friendly, but friends, like good friends.
There she goes. We're hearing from the one. You can't be good friends. No,
like how good of friends are you?
You can't be a good enough friend where I had a bad day, so I called her on my way home before I talked to you. You can't be that good of friends.
No, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that.
So friendly. I like Candace probably nailed it. Friendly. If you have children together like we did and co-parented after the divorce and raised them together, that's a friendship. That's a bond that has to be understood in your subsequent relationships, I think.
I dated a girl for 3 years in college. We're still very good friends to this day. And in fact, at my 50th birthday party, she and my wife did a dual presentation about life before and after, like different times of my life.
That sounds awesome.
It was actually really nice. I was surprised. I mean, I was like, oh, what's this going on?
It didn't turn into a Steve Gorman roast.
It was. That's kind of. That was
like
kind of.
This is your life kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really sweet. And then for like 3 days, I kept telling my wife, "No, I don't still like her. It's fine.
You just shared a kiss.
That's what it was." Let's see. Here's another thing. These are okay. Now we're already at the bottom of the barrel. Showing empathy. Oh, please. It's all fake. I fake empathy all the time. Nobody cares.
Wait, you were just. Never mind.
They put the needs of others before their own. So now we're all Mother Teresa. You got to.
Oh, that's hot.
It's getting a little cosmopolitan.
Tony's getting all steamy over there.
Both hands on the desk, sir.
Tell me about the time you gave up that seat in the subway.
He's dimming the lights in Studio D.
Oh, my God. That time when they asked if you would be willing to sacrifice your seat on the plane for a voucher, and you said yes. You took a seat away. You let that family sit together because they were too stupid to know how to select their seats ahead of time.
Take me now.
You're really turning me on.
Stop.
Oh, you don't like my...
This.
Is that... Well, the next one on the list is people who can talk like this. You don't like my sultry voice,
I don't
You're
know.
Batman.
Maybe I'll get used to it.
Kind of a dirty, hairy creeper thing going on there.
It's a dirty, hairy creeper, dirty, Harry, H-A-I-R-Y, or dirty Harry like Clint Eastwood dirty Harry. Which dirty Harry are we talking about?
Right.
Could go a lot of different ways. Some people, another one, they do the right thing even if it might make them look bad. What is the right thing that makes you look bad? I don't understand that. Maybe coming clean, like I returned the money to the bank I stole.
Yeah, but you did the wrong thing before you did the right thing. Yeah, the right thing, even if it makes them look bad. Yeah, it would be some sort of confession, right?
Yeah, admitting you're wrong.
Decent people it goes on to say decent people will only do what's expected. Good people go the extra mile to do the right thing even when no one's watching. I saw something that said character is who you are when no one's watching. Yeah. And I thought, well, then
who knows?
Yeah, well,
yeah. Some goofball sat down and typed this up because it sounded good in their head. Yeah. This is the way life should be. But let me tell you, when it comes to women and nice guys, they'll be sitting on the sideline. I'll let you know how that went later.
Oh,
I'm just saying it plays. Candace, back me up here.
Oh, the bad boy plays?
Yes, for a little bit, but you
Early
don't,
on.
you don't
That's
marry the bad boy.
God, no. That's why you are the bad boy.
Yes.
You just hit it and quit it. I mean, you're in there for a good time, and that's the one she's going home with from the bar. But the
Maybe
nice
for
guy,
a
she'll
couple
circle back
times.
around to him.
The bad boy gets nauseating after a while.
Yeah, he is there
Yes.
to teach you a lesson and then to stay
Yes.
in the background
To
for the rest
prepare.
of your life. A shadow spirit.
Nice. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? You, baby, okay? I'm fine. Just thinking about something. You're not thinking about Matt, are you?
Matt.
Well, it was Matthew, if you must know.
And I only think about him when I'm with you.
Yeah, right. The Matadote.
The Matadote. That'll cure what ails you.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing Game 2 tonight of the Western Conference semifinals. I'm going to encourage anybody listening to pay attention. Get on the bandwagon. It's okay. It's okay to jump on the bandwagon of your own local team.
Yes, it is.
And the Timberwolves have been a bit of a laughingstock for many, many years. That is not the case anymore. I just can't say it enough how exciting it is to watch this team.
What a story.
And Anthony Edwards is without a doubt ascending to MVP level play. He's 22 years old. He's ahead of anybody else when they were 22 in many a year. I mean, like I honestly think it's Kevin Durant or maybe LeBron. It's been one of those, okay, Bron was playing first. Not since Kevin Durant as a 22-year-old been this good.
Right. His highlight reel is already like a career reel.
Yeah, it's insane.
And he turns it on. He takes that next step, like he says. In the first half, I try to dish the ball around. The second half, I do what has to be done. Those are Jordan-esque LeBron, James, Durant.
Late in the game yesterday.
Kobe Bryant.
Late in the game on Saturday, I should say. They have a lead. They're trying to protect it. He gets a rebound in the fourth quarter, and he takes the ball the length of the court, left-handed, and just goes all the way to the rim.
Right.
It looked like me with my son when he was in sixth grade.
That's funny.
He just went up the court, and because nobody stopped him, he just kept going. And the wherewithal, because everyone's saying slow, but he's like, well, how about I just go score a basket here,
right.
dribbling right through every member of the Nuggets with my left hand the length of the court, as if it's just practice. It was a weird, it's one of those things, and it's those little moments like that when you're watching a game where you just go, he is in real time developing such a sense of self and awareness, and his talent and skill. Like these sort of things take years for players to get to.
True.
Your peak in the NBA is 25 to 33, or those years. He's way ahead of schedule. Very special, and he will get a deal with the Timberwolves for all the money.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. They will never ever let him go. So get on board if you haven't already. They're playing tonight. I'm already very excited about it.
I'm buying a Timberwolves jersey.
That's right, Candace.
I love Minnesota sports.
We appreciate that about you.
Sports!
There it is.
Oh, I sure missed that. Welcome back, Tony.
Good, thank you, honey.
Oh, we've been missing it. Oh, Tony's back. The Wolves are in the playoffs, and there's a bunch of weird crap in our sewers. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Oh, hello. Tony? Tony? No one's here. No one likes us, Steve. I'm all alone here. Out on the island. All alone. Where should I
Well, that
go?
was strange.
What should I do?
What should you do? You should tell me. Where does one go for miniature golf around here?
Oh, I know there's a place in the mall, but that's not outdoors.
Yeah, I like to be outdoors.
I don't know, but if we go, I'll kick your ass.
Spring weather like this, I'm thinking putt-putt. It just comes to mind.
Whoops.
Hey, go figure. It's Monday morning.
Get rid of that Sheboygan Broad I picked up at the Twins game yesterday. Sorry, it's Monday.
You picked that up?
And
heard
put
about
it down.
I heard there's a Sheboygan Bratfest going on. The Twins streak broke
The rally
yesterday.
sausage is dead. Yeah, sorry about that.
And we can thank you for that, Brian Zepp.
Yeah, I did. I jinxed the team. I will tell you this, and I've declared it earlier this morning. I'll stand by it. If the Twins, when the Twins get on a next winning streak, I don't care if it's like 91 right up through the World Series, I cannot attend a game.
Brian Zepp is your cooler, would be the word.
Yes.
In Vegas, that would be known as a cooler. The man who comes up to the table and just all the action leaves.
Although maybe I'll go catch a Timberwolves game when they get back to town.
Don't do that. No.
Dolphin in Roadhouse was the cooler.
What's that?
Yeah, I could be the ass kicker, right? Roadhouse. Yeah,
Patrick
what was his name?
Swayze.
Dalton, Patrick Swayze's character. He was the cooler, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Is that the movie they just remade with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
Which is an awesome action movie. It's just cheesy, terrible, idiotic, but the action was
Unlike
amazing.
the first one.
Right.
That really made an artistic statement.
Well, there's Godfather 2, Roadhouse. Yeah.
Yeah,
Swayze.
the remake.
Gyllenhaal, Swayze.
I know it was getting a lot of grief, from movie critics, and then it shot to number one for like 3 weeks, the movie. So, yeah, people just want to see. I mean, you go to that movie just to see ass kicking, right? And it's got that, who's that UFC fight? McGregor?
It's Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor's in it. And we're supposed to believe, as he's standing there nose to nose with Jake Gyllenhaal, that this is, I know, you've got to suspend. It's movies. It's Hollywood, right?
Sure. There's the big Netflix show of the last couple months, Baby Reindeer, still leading the Netflix
Have you seen
charts.
it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing in one day.
They're going mental over it.
Okay, so Rosemary and I watched it over a few days. Candace watched the whole thing in one day.
Well, I wasn't feeling very well, and Gigi wasn't feeling well either, so why not, And it was really easy to watch, and
What do
they're
you
not that
think?
long, the episodes. It was insane. I loved it.
It's supposed to be really disturbing.
Yeah,
It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, there's but it's very well acted, and the characters are
Based
just
on a
crazy.
true story, a woman stalking a gentleman in London. It's a comedian who's working at a bar. A woman comes in. All sorts of crazy stuff happens. And as it is based on a true story, the woman, the real life woman who was stalking this guy, someone tracked her down. And none of the British press will release her name, but they're saying we caught up with her. And she is now accusing the creator of the show for stalking her. Well, he's just still trying to get at me. So it's just.
She wishes.
Yeah, you got to really think twice about that. Like, I had a stalker for years. Let me write a series about it. That's only gonna whip up some flames. I wrote a book a few years ago, Hard to Handle: The Life and Death of the Black Rose. Feel free to pick up a copy.
Available on Amazon.
Great read.
It is. Thank you, Tony. It
is.
Hey, man. It's what it is. There were a couple of stories that I wrote and then pulled from the book because they did involve, and as crazy as this sounds, in the 90s, I had a couple stalkers.
Yeah.
Back when they had to work hard to find you. You can get on internet now. You can find out. You could just, send it out there to the ether and it comes back. No, but as weird as that sounds, which people have said, like, yeah, but you were the drummer. Well, yeah, just imagine what the other guys were going through. If I had a couple, then my singer, my God, imagine how ridiculous that was for him.
We've had him in radio, so I'm sure the drummer for the Black Crowes had some stalkers. But you're right. Then they would have loved that, right, to have been included in your book. That would have rekindled the stalk.
Yeah, there was one really, really fascinating story. Early days, it went on for like 2 years, and at some point while writing the book, I was literally in mid. And some of the stories are funny objectively. Just to get, I don't look at it like, oh, that was my life. It's like that was someone else's life a long time ago. And I can see how bizarre it was. And then while writing, I'm like, wait, what am I can't. No, this is the one thing I'm not going to put out there. That's nuts. That's
baiting the
That's a clarion call. That's like the bat signal.
Was there a sense of danger with at any point with any one of your stalkers? That's all you don't have to give the details, but you didn't.
I didn't
fear for yourself.
I did.
Or your family.
I don't think so. I don't remember it was just creepy, but I think because there were 3 total, 2 of whom I knew who they were. I mean, I had met them.
Sure.
They would come up and I'd be, oh, that's you. And they were, 2 women who I didn't physically feel threatened by. But letters started coming to my condo in Atlanta, like the place, and then I lived there with Rosemary, and when they find your home address, that's when it started getting a little strange.
Yeah.
And then letters turn from you're great and I like this, and then all of a sudden it's like, over the course of a few months.
I won't be ignored, Steve.
It's exactly what it was. I'm
I
still
have
waiting
gloves
for.
with your face on it.
I'm waiting for 2 words, and one is thank, and the other's you, and you haven't written either one. And then couple letters later,
When it
it's
starts
like
to turn like that. Yeah.
Can you see it in their eyes? Is there a certain expression or look? You get a vibe that you know that person's a troublesome
it's
stalker.
a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. it's a lot the way Candace looks at me.
That's what I thought.
I see that.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, no, it's what it is. No, I don't know, because you think you can, but then again, if I didn't know they were the person writing the letter, I wouldn't have remembered a thing about it. But it's like, hey, did you get that stuffed animal I sent?
Yeah.
It's like, yo. Yeah, and all the other weird letters and things.
Yeah.
But one woman was traveling to a lot of places. Turned up in Ireland. Turned up. It
turned up.
It turned up
as you do.
Turned up. She got really weird. Anyway, the point was, I was like, wait, I can't. I can't. Yeah, this is just, you can't give that any life. You got to just ignore that part.
Right.
So that was
John Lennon.
That was my response to that. But again, drummer in a band, you can only, my God, think about like someone like that, like what the Beatles went through. I mean, I saw a thing the other day. Paul McCartney, there's a video, part of the Ron Howard documentary, 8 Days a Week, which is one of the great documentaries about anything, much less the Beatles, you could ever see. There's a woman from Brooklyn. There's just a black and white footage of their first trip to the U.S. in 1964. It's just a group of fans, like either outside the Ed Sullivan Theater or maybe they're by the Plaza Hotel. But there's just some footage, like news footage, and there's a girl going, "You tell Paul McCartney, Adrienne from Brooklyn loves him. I love you, Paul."
Yes.
It's just like a 15-year-old girl.
Right.
Well, so that's from 1964. And McCartney recently, on an Instagram post, he's got a gallery exhibition of, I think, some of his paintings in Brooklyn. And on his Instagram post, they showed that footage. And then he comes and goes, "Adrian, I'm finally coming to Brooklyn. It'd be great to see you after all these years." And so, of course, everyone's like, "Oh, my God, we got to find this woman." Well, they found her. She's no longer with us, sadly. Her children and grandchildren were amazed to determine they were unaware of that footage, but word got around, and suddenly someone's looking at this going, "Wait, I think that's my mom," like from 1964, being a 14-year-old kid obsessed with Paul McCartney. Yeah. So they got to see this footage of their mom and grandmother from that age that they never knew existed before. But sadly, she's not still with us, so that would have been a nice kind of
What if she was killed by a stalker?
A John Lennon stalker.
Oh my God!
Wouldn't that have been a twist?
Insanity.
Oh my God!
If the world did make more sense, then sanitation experts would be the millionaires. You know what I mean? The people who keep the pipes running. There's no
the Lord's work.
Yeah, truly.
Yes.
Yeah. The garbage men and sewage people. Anybody that keeps things clean. You don't know how valuable they are until they go on strike or until they just stop working for whatever reason. A sewer company just put out a list of the weirdest stuff they've ever come across in sewers. Oh, you can only imagine. We'll just go with a few of these things. But apparently, a lot of toys, a lot of action figures. Dora the Explorer action figures.
Oh yeah.
That's someone taking that literally. Like, well, Dora likes to get around. Let's see what she thinks of this situation.
Right here hot on the heels of May the 4th be with you. When I was 11, I think, or 12, I had a Star Wars figure that had to go down the toilet. It was all part of the the reenactment, and there was something where they had been pulled into a vortex in the second Star Wars movie. And I know where there's a vortex. It's right over there. Right next to the living room. Dad hangs in there all the time. And yes, it got lodged in there sideways. And I am no George Washington. I lied about it. And Dad had to take the toilet off the floor. First time I'd ever seen the toilet taken off the floor and the big hole in the floor. Oof. Yeah, and then unwedged Mr. Skywalker. I was like,
oh, that one.
That's what I was wondering where he was.
You still get to keep them, clean them up, and play.
You know it.
All right.
Good news, Brian, you're going to be able to keep it. Bad news, we refuse. We will not allow you to clean it.
I
You
gave
have
it to
to
my
play with
brother.
it as is.
Here, Chris, you can have this one.
I got good news and bad news, son. Luke Skywalker's alive, and he smells like Sean.
And my dad made me eat him.
That's it. Another common thing in sewers: false teeth. Who really? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're barfing it up,
Right.
Yeah, Gary Reff, a friend of mine, he had one.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
One tooth.
You're puking, and you
Yeah.
don't recognize it.
Yeah. And he had barfed, and he woke up the next morning. He goes, "My tooth, my tooth, my tooth. Where's my tooth?" And he had forgotten to flush the toilet, so he had to go in
And there it
to the
was.
forearm, and there it was at the bottom of the toilet. But
Oh.
and that, by the way, boys and girls, did go back in his mouth eventually.
Well, sure, eventually.
Might have boiled it. I don't know.
There's not enough Listerine on earth to get that tooth back in my mouth. I can tell you that right now.
I'm chucking the tooth.
Underwear needs no explanation, I guess.
Wow, that was violent.
I guess if you have an accident on the way and you can't, you and then you get there and you just think, well, the underwear is ruined as well. I don't know.
I've been in a group of folks, and someone said, and so then I, obviously threw the underwear away, washed myself up as best I could, and then exited the bathroom. One of those stories, and it seemed to me almost everyone had one.
Well, I have one of those, but it's from being a kid, 6 or 7 years old, down the street, neighbor's backyard playing, and then suddenly it's like, still old enough, still young enough, I should say, to where like all of a sudden the moment is upon me and I had no idea it was about to happen.
Yeah.
And so I can still remember the family was called the Haupt, H-A-U-P-T. I don't know if it's that
Haupt?
Haupt.
Okay.
H-A-U-H-O-U-P-T. Diana Haupt, they had a big dog named Rags, and Rags was terrifying. He was like a Great Dane mix, and he was mean and literally would chase you. And so I was like in their backyard, and Rags was put up, thankfully, and we were playing, and I was having a good time because I was like, I'm in the backyard. I'm not worried about Rags. Life was good. And then suddenly I was like, Dad, I just crap myself. Like I didn't have any idea it was coming. So I ran home. Ran up to my room, and I had to destroy the evidence. And so I just took my underwear and I just put it in the trash can.
Yeah.
Sure, just right there.
Yeah.
No one will ever know. My mom came up a few minutes later. She's like, "Honey, did you have a little accident?" And I'm like, "How did you know that?"
Moms know.
You just dropped
Intuition.
your drawers. You just.
You to get my underwear out of my butt.
Yeah.
Little Steve.
Yeah, sorry. Go figure. Also, down in sewers, a lot of glasses. Eyeglasses, that is.
Sure.
That makes sense. A lot of wallets, keys, cutlery. This is the weird one to me. Cutlery. Yeah. Go figure. Here's the weird one. Car tires.
No.
What?
In the sewers.
Huh?
Car tires in the sewer
Oh,
systems.
well,
Like
Like a
go down
manhole? Or?
Yeah, I guess that could be it.
down in squeeze it into the gutter, perhaps, I suppose. Get washed in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough right there. Fitness expert wants to remind us all walking's great. Okay, you cannot do too much walking, but there are 3 different types of movement that we, and by we I mean us who are getting up there. Candace, you're fine, but the rest of us, we should really be aiming for 3 different types of movement every week.
Okay.
Everyday movement, like walking and stretching. So that's number 1. Walking, stretching, bending. Doing that stuff every day. It's a great first step.
Bending.
I do it just getting out of bed in the morning.
We got to the last commercial break, and I stood up, and I was like, God, I haven't gotten out of my chair in like an hour and a half. And then I slowly walked down the hallway to the water fountain. I mean, really, it was just like a creaky old man.
You gotta get blood clots. I had a movement during the last break.
Oh, good.
That's fantastic, man. Number 2, athletic movement. So that's like real cardio and weight training. Not every day, but a few times a week. You got to get there. Get the kind of workout system. And you're riding your bike a lot these days.
The bicycle, the other 2-wheeler, the pedal type. It's not even an electric bike. Although I did rent one of those electric bikes. You been on one of the electric bikes, you guys?
No.
Oh, that's the way to bike.
Really?
I mean, it's really kind of motorcycling, really, but. Scooterish, but no, you have to pedal to keep it going. You can't just stop pedaling and hit the go button. So you do have to, and it had 3 gears. First gear, all right, I'm getting a little thigh burn here. Second gear, okay, that really does the trick. And then third gear is, okay, I'm going to turn the pedals once and go a half mile.
That'll work.
That really just fires you right up the hill over here. But No, so I get out and I pedal around a little bit.
Everyday movement, athletic movement, and number 3, social movement.
Hey, hello.
Meaning it involves other people. Things like what's suggested: golf, dancing, and pickleball.
I knew there was going to be pickleball in there.
Yeah, well, that's, whatever gets us oldsters out moving around. I don't feel like I'm there yet for the pickleball. I can still do other things, but
if I played tennis, maybe I would care about pickleball. But I watch it and I just think to myself, I'll just play ping pong. I'm happier with ping pong.
Let's try ping pong.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to do that. Maybe shoot some pool, and then if we're going to shoot some pool, you know what? Let's have a beer.
Let's just make it beer pong and cut to the chase.
We could certainly do that. And then, of course, the other movement, as Zepp just mentioned during the commercial break, a bowel movement. Always good.
Got to stay regular.
Yeah, it's very, very, very important.
I wonder if you can make that a social movement. No.
It's an anti-social movement the way it works around my house a lot of times.
Yeah,
you want to clear the room? Yeah, I got you.
Isn't that the truth?
I got you covered up right there. So just to recap over the weekend, the Twins' winning streak snapped at 12. The sausage has expired. The rally sausage got them through a dozen wins. Still not enough for first place in the Central, but no. I mean, listen, that's a big turnaround for a team that had been underperforming, certainly, for the first part of the season.
Well, they know they can hit. Now they've got some confidence behind the plate. Swing the bats. TK used to say that, and I know that sounds very simple, like, well, all you got to do is swing the bat. It's a major league pitch. But no, just swing away. Take some strikeouts if you need to, but this team is swinging away, and there's some good pitching in there. There's some inconsistent pitching, but for the most part, Lopez continues to kill. Ryan didn't have a great day yesterday, but he'll win 18 games this season. So, I'm interested to see what they end up doing with this season. Should maybe be there at the end, I think.
The Twins 12-game winning streak. The Timberwolves game 2 tonight against the Nuggets. That's a very, very good basketball team on their way up. And then, of course, over the weekend, Saturday, we had the Kentucky Derby. I don't remember already. Candace, did you watch the Kentucky Derby or no?
No, I was busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff on Saturday. I was in Richfield. You actually came out to Richfield, too, and made fun of my yearbook photos at the Richfield Historical Center.
You heard that right. The Richfield Historical Center has
posted there,
among other things.
Is that also the American Legion?
Candace's high school yearbook.
No, it's next door.
Oh, funny.
We had an event over at the Bartholomew House. It's the longest standing building in Richfield, and we're trying to preserve it because it's important to the history of Richfield. And it's basically my best friend from high school's mom's venture right now. She is just a part of it. So we're supporting that, and it was really fun to have Steve and Rosemary come out to Richfield, and they had the center has all of the yearbooks from Richfield High School, so I am in there. I'm in there.
All over there.
Get the car, honey. We're going to Richfield.
Candace was most likely to fill in the blank.
Make people laugh and smile.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know.
Was anybody actually named in those high school yearbook superlatives? Did you ever get anything?
Oh, I guess no, I did. I got best dressed.
Really?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened, huh?
No, as I wear sweatpants to work every day.
Started getting out of bed in the middle of the night. Now, what would be the high mark for the Richfield Historical Society? In the history of Richfield, you just brought this up, what's the big significant event?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, when I think of Richfield history, who could forget possibly that year
sidewalk sale days.
Richfield, it's like the oldest suburb, of Minnesota, and it's just a cool little town,
Put it right on the billboard. It's a cool little town.
It was originally going to be named Harmony, but there was already a town named Harmony, so that's why they decided to name it Richfield.
Well, I got some bad news for you. There's about 50 Richfields out there as well, but Harmony
this
sounds
one's the
nice.
First.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Best Buy's headquartered there. That's pretty cool. That's
nice
pretty exciting.
offices.
It is, yeah.
One of the earliest post-war suburbs. So, the Bartholomew House was cool. It's been there since, I guess it was first built in 1852, moved over to Richfield from its original setting. They added on to it. It was a nice day. That's all I can say. But really, the highlight was Candace's yearbook photos.
Let's get that up on Facebook today, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, Candace, you must be so proud.
Oh, no.
You look like you're just in your senior year of high school now. I can't imagine.
No, you look the same.
I remember the first time
I'll
she came out to
show you.
do a promotion with me. She was 20 years old, I think, when you came out to do your first promotion with me, and did a fantastic job. And I got back and pulled the promotion director aside, and I said, hey, listen, the kid you sent out, Candace, today, she did a nice job, but we were at a bar, and she isn't this isn't I'm looking at your picture.
Sorry,
right now.
I just pulled up a
By the
screenshot.
way, it's cute. It's adorable. It really is. I was thinking of something much dorkier looking. Don't look at mine. Somehow I was able to feather a mullet, which isn't easy to do, but I pulled that off in 1984. But yeah, I thought honestly they had sent a 12-year-old kid out to my.
Funny.
I'm like, I'm at a freaking bar, and you send a kid like she's 20. What was that?
Hi, Mr. Zepp.
Yeah, kind of. I was like, well, people are thinking it's like bring your daughter to work day. I'm out here trying to be inappropriate. And then I realized she was 20 and inappropriate as hell with the jokes at the bar gig.
Happens.
Good times.
Yeah.
I was going to text you guys this. We took some shots of Candace's shots from the yearbook, of course, just to torture her with.
That's awesome.
I just looked down to text, and I just received a text from a number I don't recognize. It's a 940 area code, and this text just came in. What the hell is going on? ? Which my first thought is my dad is texting me from the grave. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, you got into that whole dad thing earlier. You had a couple of good ones.
I was talking about it last week. I've had some strange text messages. This is there's a few. What was the other one? It was like, hey, let's do laundry. Go to the beauty salon tomorrow together. That was one last week.
Okay, the other one sounds like a long-lost buddy that changed his number. The beauty salon one freaks me out.
The hell's going on?
Your stalker found you.
I can only hear my dad's voice when I put those. Anything that starts with "what the hell," it's Don Gorman from that. The hell were you thinking?
There's a great old drop from Vince Lombardi back in the day. They used to play it all the time on the what the hell's going on out here?
That's exactly right. Oh, whoo, baby. All right, so anyway, one thing we haven't covered yet today, and well, speaking of covered, I tell you what, to keep it nice and to keep it on the up and up, we'll call it groin picks. How about that? I got a groin pick story worth sharing. We'll get to it in a few minutes. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Yeah, God, it feels so good to see you guys and to be back. And the listeners, I will never, ever forget just the support and sincere words you've sent to me. And it meant everything. It's really cool. I'm a happy lad.
651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Gary says, Tony, it's great to have you back. Here's a note from someone reminding us from what we were talking about a minute ago. Some of Richfield's highlights historically. Scenes from Fargo were filmed in Richfield, apparently.
Awesome.
I wonder which scenes those were.
The wood chipper.
I do know that. I do know the downtown ramp where the scene where Steve Buscemi shoots the
dad.
The dad.
Yeah.
I can take you right. I know right where that is. I can't tell you. I could just get you there.
I know
I know where it is.
Several people have been shot there.
And and when I heard that's where it was, guess what I did? I drove right to the top of that damn thing, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is where it happened!" All right, that's how excited I was. So Tony's back after an absence. We're all feeling like ourselves again.
Thanks.
And with that in mind, let's talk about groin pictures.
Good transition.
This is
I thought you said that was her class picture.
I'm the king of the segue from Tony Lee returning to a photo of a man's junk.
Yeah.
But this is actually really funny. An author, a woman by the name of Becky Holmes, posted some screenshots on her socials. Long story short, she was involved in a conversation via text or through some app with a guy, and he sent her very much an unsolicited shot of his groin.
Which means I love you.
Which means I love you, and look at this. See, this is what I love about this, because we mentioned sometimes when you do answer a phone call from a number you don't know, sometimes it's like a prank call comes to you. You just get to mess with some telemarketer.
Yeah.
She was not thrilled to receive this picture. She on her birthday, a guy DM'd her a shot of his junk, and he put it through a happy birthday sign.
Oh, wow, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Some birthday candle sticking out of it.
She sent in she took a screenshot.
Ouch.
Not a catheter. It's a birthday candle.
No, it hurts just even. Don't allow that train of thought to continue.
Okay, all right.
That's so painful.
My penis?
That's the one. Yes, the one I was born with. I've had the same one my whole life. She sent back a zoomed-in shot of the picture he sent her with a little red mark on his stomach. Said, "Hey, I have a degree in dermatology. This is concerning to me." And they had a long back and forth where she was saying things like, and by the way, she shared all the screenshots.
That's awesome.
She said, "Listen, even if it doesn't itch, that can be even more concerning."
Oh, my gosh.
Doc says I need an ultrasound on my groin and ball.
That's it. And then at one point she said, "It's going to be a really difficult few months for you." He is totally buying this hook, line, and sinker. The guy is getting wound up. He replied back and said, "I showed the picture to my cousin, and he didn't see anything alarming." And she responds,
showed it to your cousin. Okay.
She responds, "She's not and then the guy said, although my cousin's not an expert like you." The whole exchange happened.
Okay.
They do it to themselves. This is beautiful.
Yeah. She said, and then people are responding, going, "This is so hilarious." She goes, "Oh, well, that's not the only time this has happened." She convinced another man that he had contracted the bubonic plague. Wow. So, guys, listen, careful who you send your junk photos to.
Yeah.
Be selective.
And by junk, I don't mean trash. I mean, the front office. The front office does not need to be sent.
No, that's beautiful.
By
Good
the way,
for her.
and think twice before sending a solicited junk photo.
Of course.
They're out there. Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, if it's solicited, that's fine. If they want to use it against you as some sort of revenge thing, you know what? It's 2020. Remember when it used to be a big deal to see someone naked? I've literally seen all of you naked today.
It's pee-pee
All I did was
time.
Google it. It's pee-pee time.
Oh, so that's your Ring camera in the toilet.
Yes,
okay.
that is
you.
mine.
That's you. I got it.
No, is it a big deal if there's a naked picture of you out there anymore? Is that a thing?
I think. Well, yeah, that's a good question.
I mean,
happily, I don't know. I don't want. You know what? I don't want to find out.
There's just so much nudity out there, and so much, everything. In fact, I'll be honest with you. I've been in a couple of relationships. It's fun. It's frisky. The sexting thing is new. It's starting to happen. This is a while ago. And I would get a solicited groin pic. Would you send me a groin pic? I almost always just sent somebody else's groin pic.
That's what Google's for.
They're so easy to find. Yes. Go ahead. Google it today at work on your work computer.
Well, you have files and files of those anyway. Very easy to access.
Right. Yes. And if you didn't like that one, you're going to be really disappointed in the real one.
I tell you what, man. I mean, the last time I was involved in flirtatious dating, it was the 80s.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, it was
literally like, are you going to wear that halter top out in public? Think about it. People just,
no.
What is completely normal public wear for women now in the 80s, you would have been like, look at that slut with her sleeveless top.
Oh, my God. What a tramp.
Yeah. Things
I love
have changed.
you.
I would be like, literally, if I were back in the dating scene right now, it would be like, Michael Landon's character from Little House on the Prairie getting out of a time machine.
Yeah, right. When I was in college briefly, someone busted into the dorm room and I was having sexual intercourse with a female. And they thought it would be funny to bust in, and they took a Kodak picture of it. Snap. Click. Had it developed and circulated around campus. I was mortified. She was mortified.
Sure.
That's
terrible.
It was crushing back then. Now it's because nothing like that happened. There weren't naked pictures of anyone anywhere unless it was, in a smut magazine. No one got their hands on porn. That was film, for God's sakes, or VHS. It just wasn't around. But
The only naked
now
photos
I
of
don't
people
care.
I actually knew that I ever saw, it was always just someone just passed out drunk.
Yeah.
And then, you just
look,
pull their shorts down real quick and take a picture.
That's what your genitalia looks. Now I wouldn't care, and now is when I shouldn't be circulating a naked photo of myself. Back then, I probably had something going on.
Well, I was going to say right now, you should be circulating the photo from back then.
I know. If I could only get my hands on it, it'd be
look
bright.
what you missed,
God, you guys are
ladies.
so
It'd be my Facebook profile pic.
It's perfectly acceptable now.
Yes. I mean, it's just like,
I love that
cares?
Candace is putting it together on May 6, 2024 that we're weird.
One time I was working at a concert venue I used to work at, and we had iPads that we would use to check people in. And we got this folder message, a message that contained a folder of dick pics.
Oh,
it was
the
just a
airdrop,
folder of dicks.
Today's special.
We've heard of a bag of dicks,
Someone
but a folder
airdropped
of dicks.
it to us.
Oh, my God.
That's not funny.
No.
Are you okay?
It was pretty funny. A lot of funny ones in there.
I've noticed a couple of times, and I have mine set to private. I don't know if I get on a plane and I switch it to on air mode, if that changes it, or if I'm just monkeying around with my phone too much. But I've jumped on my phone a couple of times. This happened to you guys. And there's these pictures I've never taken of other people, their family, a picture with a kid wearing a funny hat. And these people are clearly on vacation, and they're airdropping, and somehow I got in the middle of it. Nothing torrid, nothing salacious, nothing weird. It's just other people's, and they're on my phone. I'm like, okay, that's creeping me out.
I remember,
are they getting my pictures?
I remember being on a flight, and this is a while ago, maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, and I'm sitting on a window, and I could see the guy in front of me through the reflection in his window.
Yeah.
Feeling me?
Yeah.
And he had a laptop open, and he was just watching straight porn. And I looked in the window. I was like, wait, is that? What? And then I kind of I didn't stand all the way up, but I kind of got out of my seat and looked over it, and sure, he's got a laptop out, and he's watching just a straight up. It's hardcore.
It's just hardcore.
Hardcore porn. And there's a guy in the seat next to him, sound asleep. It's a window, middle aisle. The guy in the middle looks like he's asleep, and on the aisle is a woman, and she's just reading a book. And there's no way she's not aware that this guy. And I'm just like, are you hoping to spark up a conversation? Or are you really that unaware that this is on a
he knew. When you're doing that, you know that people can see, and that's what's getting you off.
Exactly. You're right, Candace. That's a voyeur thing, because, no one just sits around and casually watches porn with some popcorn. You watch porn for a purpose, it's for your own self-gratification.
Well, you want to see the lighting and the cinematography. And if you're a film buff.
Just the editing and the cinematography, all that. Yeah, you're right. So this guy's doing it because it's in kind of a semi-public, it's very public place. Exactly. It's naughty. It's voyeuristic. Otherwise, he's not just, trying to get in volume 7 to get to the end plot.
I was like, man, Southwest has changed.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. And I wish there was like a big, great ending to that story, but I don't recall anybody mentioning it to him, and the flight attendant didn't come by and say, hey, dude, dim your screen or something.
Right.
Nothing like that. Nothing of the sort.
At least play with yourself and make it look normal so we can kick you off the plane.
That went unquestioned or unchallenged. However, I know if I had taken off my shoe and sock and just put my foot up near him, then they would have had an emergency landing.
If you're trying to lean back in your seat,
you're naughty.
Which I'm reminded of because my daughter found an old photo. We were on a flight once, and she was sitting on the window, and from the aisle behind, a foot came up and was like over by her window. Yeah, it was an older woman who had just stuck her foot up to get her just to stretch her knee, but it was like a bare foot right next to my daughter. And the first thing she did was she took a picture of it. Like, look at this. It was very strange.
Oh, definitely. It would get the tickle. And if it was back in the old days when we could take our lighters on the plane, it would get something else. It'd set that pinky toe on fire. Get your foot out of here.
I was speaking of lighters. Yeah, I was on a flight. I was thinking about this the other day because the whole conversation, again, you get these conversations with your kids and they're like, wait, this was happening in your lifetime? And we were talking about smoking on planes. And it was just the idea of like, wait, you're serious? And I'm like, yeah, but it was only the last few aisles of a section. So, of course, nobody else was aware of the smoke. It's so funny. If you want to smoke, you got to be in the last 4 aisles.
You talk about that generational gap. I thank you to Hoffman Weber Construction, proud partner of the Minnesota Twins. Set us up with 4 tickets. Me and 3 listeners yesterday went out to the game and broke the streak, but had a great time. And the winner to see the Boston Red Sox play in Minnesota of this contest was Sam Malone.
Isn't that great?
Sam Malone, cheers.
Sam Mayday Malone?
Sam
Mayday
Mayday Malone. That's the winner.
Sweet.
So I think, how cool is this? The Boston Red Sox, Sam Malone's the winner. The gang shows up, and I go, so it's not lost on me that Sam Malone is our winner of these Boston Red Sox tickets. Blank stare. No one's over the age of 30.
Oh,
just a blank stare.
way.
And I'm like, Sam Malone from... and then I realize what's happening. I'm like, cheers. It's really big in the anyway, if you guys should Google it. You know, if we get a rainy weekend, you might want to. I should stop talking now about this show. You've never heard of Cheers? You really?
Is that guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm? Yes.
Oh, stop it! No, it's the guy from the Onion Field with James Woods, of course.
There's an old reference for you.
Body Heat.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. So anyway, the Sam Malone reference was lost.
I met a guy,
but they were fantastic. Also, I just real quick, since I'm name dropping, Amber and Sir Med, thank you for joining me at the game. And we had.
Will you cut the malarkey?
No, yeah. Candace sent us over to the taco place. We had some margaritas, Cinco de Mayo. It was a good time.
At my first Twins game last season, I threw out the first pitch, first time in Target Field, and I met a guy named Jonas Grumby. And I said, "Hey, Skipper." He had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh my God!
Well,
I didn't really meet a guy.
Oh, you
did? I'm just throwing. I just happen to know that's the Skipper's name, and thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, what's the professor's name?
Roy Hinkle.
Hinckley. Very close.
It's
Professor
Hinckley?
Roy Hinckley.
Oh, I thought it was Hinkle.
Oh,
Wow. And did we ever get a name for Lovey? Is it just Lovey? Does she have an actual first name, Lovey Howell? Is she Lovey Howell the
Don't
third?
look at me. I have no idea.
All right.
Well, that can be Googled.
I think it's Denise.
Denise
She looks more like an Elaine to me.
That probably works just as well. Tom Brady is known for an awful lot of things, being the greatest quarterback ever and not knowing how to take a joke. We'll explain in a few minutes. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Monday, May the 6th. That was Renegade by Styx. That's a nice song for any Pittsburgh Steelers fan to hear.
Yeah.
They still blast that thing at, what's it called? Not Heinz Field. Huntsfield?
Alliance Field now or something?
Field.
What do they call the one here? It is. It's Alliance. It's not the same one. It's pronounced kind of. It's Three Rivers Stadium. That's what the hell it is.
There it is. Three Rivers.
Three Rivers is what it is.
I've been to Three Rivers Stadium back in the day. I saw a Pirates game, not a Steelers game. I've been to the Pirates' new stadium, whatever that's called. Gorgeous ballpark. But I have not seen a Steelers game in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, which is now
Acrisure Stadium. Yeah,
watch your mouth.
I know.
Acrisure.
That might get you punched in some neighborhoods in Pittsburgh. No, I think they're a big local insurance organization set up there, aren't they?
Checks out.
I'm sure they paid everyone off handsomely.
Makes perfect sense.
It's supposed to be a beautiful stadium. I've not been. I've been to Heinz, Three Rivers, but not Acrisure.
Steelers fans, like every other fan base, especially in the AFC, have no love lost for Tom Brady. The man just dominated a 2-decade, which is a decade and a half longer than any dynasty before.
I would say I respect his championship nature, but no, I don't love Tom Brady.
No,
but
it's hard to love.
After the fact.
Hard to love him. But on Netflix last night, the love was in full display. Tom Brady, of all people, was given a giant roast on Netflix. I mean, I heard about it, and I was like, wait, what? But Netflix is, by the way, Netflix is the biggest streamer by far, and they've been saying for years, we're not interested in live sports, which means they're interested in live sports.
Right.
And an event like last night is just, they're just putting out those. It's like the little creeping vines are starting to go. Like, yeah, well, this is a sports guy. We'll do a live roast on Netflix. It had a huge number of people watching, apparently.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady, not known as the most delightful character in the world. I mean, he was just so focused on football and winning. He was kind of a robotic fella, at least publicly.
Yeah.
He got up on the stage up there on the, how do you say it, dais?
The dais.
I always want to say dice. So he got on the dais with a whole bunch of comedians. Well, you know what a roast is. They truly just rip you apart. And for the most part, it was all good. Although I got to say, and this is more a product of just the era we live in, it's so refreshing to see such horrific things said in public.
Right?
You know, it's like the idea of a roast is to get up there and say all the things you can't actually say.
Yeah.
And to that, anyway, job well done, everybody, man. I mean, they were ripping on his ex-wife, by the way, his former teammate Aaron Hernandez, who murdered several people. Many jokes told about him. Nothing was off limits.
Nothing sacred. You got to go through it.
3 hours. I think it was almost 3 hours, live and uncut. And now, of course, it's back. It's still running on Netflix if you want to go after the fact and watch it. But you're right. Gloves were off, except for one moment.
Well, Kevin Hart was one of the first people up. And 5 minutes in, he is talking about the fact that Tom's ex-wife Giselle is banging her jiu-jitsu teacher. Right out of the gate. It was like, oh my Lord. So yeah, old school roast in full effect.
Yeah, except for Jeffrey Ross, the roast master, the guy that goes there, who has set really the bar for our modern day roasting. Jeffrey Ross is up there, and he's going at it, and he struck the nerve that got Tom Brady off of his little bench seat there in his tuxedo, and he got right in his face. And you'll listen to the end of this audio. Keep listening.
So Tom became a Patriot, moved up to New England, and on the first day of training camp, that scrawny rookie famously walked into the owner, Robert Kraft's office and said, "I'm the best decision your organization has ever made." Would you like a massage? I love Robert Kraft. I love
it again.
Okay. He's having fun. Look at him.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ross laughs it off with the nervous laughter there a little bit. But, yeah, don't go with that shot again. And, I mean, so, yeah, you're going after his manhood, his ex-wife. That's still raw.
That's all okay.
That's all okay. They really tear into him. But that's power right there. You want to know what power a billionaire has? Robert Kraft. Long after Tom Brady has left the organization, Tom Brady gets out of his chair to defend Robert Kraft to Jeffrey Ross and the world.
It was funny. I actually watched the whole thing because I was on Netflix, as one is on a Sunday. And it was like starting in 15 minutes. There's a countdown. And I was like, okay, I like a lot of these comedians. Tom Segura, Nikki Glaser. Nikki Glaser is so funny, and she's so good.
She's great.
Hate her a little bit, but she is just pretty and she's great, and she was the best one on that stage. Randy Moss did some jokes that were kind of funny, but yeah, it was entertaining to watch. I used to love watching the roasts back in the day with like Joan Rivers and stuff because it was so raunchy, and I was like, oh my god, this feels so bad watching this.
Greg Giraldo was just brilliant in those.
And then the old school roast, go back to our childhood, 70s roasts. The only guy up there who wasn't drunk was Foster Brooks. His character was that
Dean
of a drunk
Martin
guy.
Roast.
Dean and those guys would just be hammered, and Foster Brooks was the guy whose whole career was playing a drunk guy. And he wasn't drunk.
He played it so well he couldn't be drunk. He just couldn't be drunk to be that drunk. It would just get a little bit out of hand. Well, who wasn't working blue last night, but I thought took some pretty good shots here. Peyton Manning.
It is great to be here with a bunch of people sitting around talking smack about Tom Brady, or as we call that in the Manning family, Thanksgiving. One thing that Tom and I definitely have in common, though, is our love of the game of golf. And listen, not to brag, we're both pretty good players. My handicap is a 6.4, while Tom's handicap is blowing leads in the Super Bowl to my brother Eli. The last time Tom Brady had to wait this long to get on stage, it was the 2000 NFL Draft.
And then Tom Brady gets his rebuttal.
Peyton, I know sometimes you live in Denver and sometimes you live in Louisiana, but you'll always live in my shadow. When I heard there was a slow white Bronco heading down the 405 to come here tonight, I thought we might actually see a real football legend.
Wow.
Hey, there it is.
I hadn't heard that one yet. That's great. A slow white Bronco on the 405. That's great.
And you know, a couple of people just showed up to see if Bill Belichick could actually crack a joke and a smile with it.
Ron Burgundy, the only member of the media I respect. You know, the fellas invited me up here to lighten up the mood a little bit tonight. A lot of mean things being said about Tom tonight. I wonder why they invited me. Really, Tom, why are all these people so hard on you? Do you miss me? A lot of people connected me with a saying called "do your job" and telling people to do their job. And Gronk, I've been watching on Fox NFL Sunday, and I'm begging you, please, stop doing your job. But believe it or not, I've got a lot of nice things to say about Tom, but I'm running out of time here. I see your soccer team, Birmingham City, got knocked down to another tier in the English Football League, so they suck.
And
not so easy running a team, is it, Tom?
And then Tom Brady gives it right back.
And now, for the real reason y'all here, Coach Bill Belichick. I've been out of the game for a minute, so I'm curious. How many Super Bowl rings have you won since I left?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, the crowd was outraged at that.
Maybe it's not just the guy on the sideline. When I go to the Indy 500, I don't ask the winning driver, hey, who gassed up your car?
Work it out, boys. Work it out.
Ooh,
Some
man.
highlights there.
When is the Indy 500? Memorial Day weekend.
Yes,
Just a couple
sir.
weeks. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Didn't see the race, but did go to an Indy 500 carb day at the Indy 500, where it's called Carb Day. It's a few days before the race.
Yeah.
I guess it's short for carburetor. It's not a pasta. There was a thing at the track where we played in the infield, on this, and they were literally like, you're playing at Carb Day. And my first thought was, I guess the racers load up on a healthy.
Right, like runners.
Just like some penne alla vodka before the race or something. And it was, but it was so we did a gig and we're there, and the track is, just huge. And, and I just had never been at a racetrack before. I didn't realize how steep it actually is.
Embankments,
It's like you have to run up that thing. Like you have to get ahead of steam.
I'm not sure I could.
It's tough. And we got off stage and we're just milling around and kind of checking it out. And there was a short race, like something else going on that day. But then someone said, does anybody want to take a lap in the pace car?
Hell yeah.
And I said, yeah, let's go. Yeah. And I walked over, and the pace car that year, this is in 2005, it was a Corvette. And one of the drivers from I should know the guy's name. He's raced in the damn Indy 500 a couple days later. He said, yeah, let's go, hop in. And I hopped in, and we got in this car, and he goes, yeah, let's see what we got here. And he just punches it, and we take off.
Let's see what we got here.
And as we take off from where the race starts, right in the middle of the straightaway, and as we're approaching the first curve, he's still accelerating. And I'm like, hey,
slow down.
And I look, and we're in a
Steve taps him.
We're in a convertible, like T-tops. Like there's no roof on this thing.
Oh, your hair was
not
messed
a full
up.
one. And I look over, we're doing 180 miles an hour in this car.
Lord.
And I'm just like, this is a dumb idea. and this is my one question. I said, have you driven this car before? And he goes, this car? No. Why would I have driven this before? And I was like, no worries, just wondering. And we roll out of that first curve, and you're sideways. You're literally sideways on that curve. And then we hit the straightaway, and he got up to like 220. Yeah. And I'm just like, this was not what I had. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Hey, put a race car driver in the pace car and let him try to freak out the guy in the band.
Did you close your eyes?
I didn't. I wanted to see my maker when he showed up. And we did 2 laps. And each lap is, I don't know, how long. What's the Indy 500 track? It's a couple miles.
I've been there for the Brickyard for
it's longer than you think it is.
Yeah.
And we came around turn 4 and then hit that straightaway again. And I was just like, he goes, you want to do another one? I'm like, I can't say no.
Yeah, right.
No, pull over, please, mister. Pull the car over, please.
I got to pee.
Yeah, we did 2 laps. It was intense, man.
It made it a bit more fun for him, too, to have somebody in here. Has this guy ever been in a band? All right, get him in there.
That's what it was.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven this car before?
Just thought,
why would I have driven this car before?
This car? No. Why would I have driven this before? I don't know. You just jumped in it like it was yours.
Yeah, like you know how to drive cars really fast. That was a vet.
I guess if you're going to be in a car going that fast with somebody, it is helpful that it's a open wheel IndyCar racer.
Yeah, right.
Himself.
That's cool.
Tom Brady, though, like the one joke he couldn't abide. It was about Bob Kraft. He heard a lot of jokes about his ex-wife Giselle. A lot of jokes about teammates. As I said, Aaron Hernandez, former tight end, a man who murdered other human beings, was getting roasted. They were just making fun of him. Good old-fashioned roast activity going on right there. Also over the weekend, the Kentucky Derby, the 150th Kentucky Derby. It's the longest consecutive running sporting event. They don't take a break. It's 150 in a row. And the race, what was it? Tricky Dick? Who won the race?
Tricky Dick won. That's as they know him on the street.
Magic Mike won the race. What's this damn horse's name? I can't keep it straight.
Mystic Dan.
Yeah.
Mystic Dan. There it is.
But won by 3 noses.
He won by 3 tiny little noses. That was it was a great race. And then again, the tie-in for me was I saw Tom Brady at the Kentucky Derby once. That's my Tom Brady moment where he just walked past me a couple times and he's just huge, 6'5", every bit of 6'5". I saw him at a party where I also saw 3 members of the Jackson 5 perform.
Wow.
Backyard party. Check this out. Here, this is 2010.
Tito, get me some tissue.
In 2010, Taylor Dane was on hand.
Oh, yeah, I remember her.
Cool.
Travis Tritt performed.
Sure.
And then there's a house band, and they're really good. And then all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie, Tito, and Randy Jackson, and they walk on stage. And this is a year after Michael died, and everybody just applauded for like 5 minutes. Everyone just clapped for 3 members of the Jackson family, and they just stood there. They didn't say a word. They just stared out at a party. They probably were. I imagine they were all given $100,000 just to show up.
Yeah, right.
And then 2 of them, Jackie and Randy, just left the stage, and Tito Jackson stepped up to the mic, and I as God is my witness, I almost fell over dead when he said, I'm going to play some blues for you. And that's what he sounded like. He's from Gary, close enough to Chicago, but he sounded like Buddy Guy talking now.
Right.
And he put on a Stratocaster, and he literally led the band through Stormy Monday, and he blitzed it. He was incredible. I watched Tito Jackson, who was always the guy playing the guitar, but I just figured it's a prop.
Yeah, right.
Phenomenal guitarist.
Tito can play.
Tito was ripping it. And I was sitting there going like, he's the most talented member of the family. I mean, the moon dance is cool. The moonwalk is cool. And all those songs. But literally, Michael, what happened to Tito?
Poor Tito.
Tito will take to his own grave how great of a blues guitarist he was. No one really... Yeah, like you, it seems like an oddity. A handful of people know that.
On the KQ Talking text line, Sean from Forest Lake does want me to know Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback ever. He's the LeBron James of quarterbacks, and he's especially a glorified cheater. Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback ever.
Joe Montana isn't even in the top 5, to be honest with you. I mean, statistically, he's not. But sure, Joe, he's from my childhood. He's a phenomenal quarterback.
When I say he's the GOAT, when I say Brady's the greatest ever, I mean he had the greatest career ever. That's what I mean.
Greatest
career.
People that are hung up on cheating also just, I'm assuming, don't understand the rules of football.
Here's my take on Deflategate. All these years later, teams have their own balls. Who cares what one guy's ball? You don't use their ball; they use their own ball.
The Patriots ran
Yeah.
For 400 yards in
They
that
sure
game.
did.
They ran the ball for 400 yards. Yeah. But I suppose because it was a hair lighter, because it was a little easier to grip. Was that the thing? Yeah.
It was more aerodynamic.
Yeah. It just doesn't play. But I get it. I mean, there's the argument is there, right? Joe Montana has won less than half as many Super Bowls. Doesn't really have the big numbers. So I don't know that I'd argue Joe Montana, but I personally love Joe Montana.
Oh, he's fantastic. They're all great. And Patrick Mahomes will be the guy that in 20 years will be going, Brady was okay, but he's no Mahomes.
Yeah, he's no Mahomes. Yeah, right. That's probably the next one. Or
I would say
Kevin McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Whatever his name is.
Kevin McCarthy.
You say JJ, I say Kevin.
JJ to JJ. Get ready for it, man. It's going to be JJ the jet plane left and right and center around here.
Kevin McCarthy. I'm going to stick with that for that little until he starts winning some games in 2025.
The Denver Nuggets standing right now in between the Minnesota Timberwolves having a 2-0 lead in the Western semifinals. I did see Dirk Nowitzki, the great former Dallas Maverick, legend and iconic player, on Inside the NBA. He said Anthony Edwards is the complete package. He's the next best player in the league.
He is.
By the way, echoing the sentiments of many, myself included, Anthony Edwards, 25 of his team's first 40 points in the first half. And then he has the second most 35-point playoff games in NBA history before turning 23. Luka Doncic had 7. He's now got 6. It's insane. He's 22 years old. He's already making decisions and running the game, running the team, showing himself to be the true leader. And by the way, a tremendous personality. The best thing about Ant is that off the court, he's going to be marketing gold. He'll have more ads. He's got a Twitter and an Instagram account for his dog. His dog is Ant Jr. He refers to his dog as his son. He's hilariously funny. Just a absolutely fantastic kid to be a part of a truly ascendant team. Have I mentioned that I'm excited about the Timberwolves? I'll be watching tonight. I'll be tired and grumpy tomorrow because I'm staying up late, but it will be worth it. But as long as we're talking about sports, let's go back a ways. It's May the 6th. On this day in 1954, an English guy named Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile for the first time. It's funny. I look back on all the times I've run a mile. All the times. Listen to me. What am I talking about?
Once.
At my best. I mean, literally, like I like to say, I've never been in shape, but I've been less out of shape. Okay, let me put it that way. If we're talking about real athletes. Probably had a 6-minute mile in me at some point in my life, if need be, in a hurry, maybe. I mean, I'm tall, got a long gait.
Sure.
But a 4-minute mile 70 years ago today, that is still, if you see someone running a 4-minute mile pace, they are sprinting, essentially.
He did it in his bare feet, too. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
What? Neither did I. I just made that up. I think I saw that in a different movie.
That was Chariots of Fire.
Was it?
That was the Sabbath. Never mind. I'm getting all my English running movies confused.
That was the Jungle Book. I think
that was
exactly what it was.
No, remember the guy that would kick his an after-school special, and he would kick his shoes off and then go win the race. Everyone would start, and he'd run. Anyway.
All right, that's what Google's for. We'll have a recap tomorrow.
Yeah.
Never been much of a runner. You know what I mean? I played. I always said if it doesn't have a ball, what's the point? Give me something to dribble or kick. Around these parts, Candace, you're the runner of the KQ Morning Show. Your best mile was what?
Long.
Wow.
I walked most of it.
Yeah, I know.
I was protesting and it's torturous. Why do we have to run a mile in school? That is the meanest and the stupidest thing ever. It pins everyone against each other.
Sure.
You always do it after lunch. What's wrong with you? School?
Right. That's right. That's how that works.
The Richfield 7 walked that.
The Richfield 7, man, just taking a stand early.
Unity.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.